CR was the only one who answered.
Oh.
When I said, how are y'all when I first walked in.
I'm busting your balls. Come on.
All right, let's do mic checks. Check the red, please.
Check, check, check.
Check. Sorry.
She couldn't wait.
Do it one more time. Sorry.
Check, check, check.
And orange.
Mic check.
Good. Yellow.
Check, Mike, check.
And blue.
Hello.
A little
I
bit
like
more.
how
Do it again.
our mics match our shirts.
Huh?
Good.
That's true.
All right.
Look at that.
Our mics. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
We're good over here. I'll play intro music, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Can we just play it all the way through? I don't like. fade
Please.
out.
Yeah.
You got it. Here we go.
Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this on YouTube, that means you're now tuned into chapter 100 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introvert, a.k.a. a nigga who's getting sick, but we are still here. No guests necessary because I got all the people I have with me tonight, the only people that I need.
Aww.
My co-hosts, Ciara, Coco, Laney. What's up, y'all?
Hey, y'all.
What up,
Thank
though?
Say what's up to the
Hola.
people.
What's up? What's
Holas,
up?
holas.
Hey,
It's-
y'all.
We're back.
When the last time we did one just the four of us? It's been like a minute, right? I think it
feels
was like
a little while.
May or like,
It might have been.
I think it was like last year or something.
because
No.
even when there wasn't guests, I think there would only be like either 2 or 3 of us here.
Yeah,
Like now it's just all of us.
it feels good. It feels.
It's just all of us. You know that song?
Hey now.
Yeah,
No,
but like,
TV
why you
show.
just break
Because
it
it's
to
just
like,
all of us.
Because he could sing like that.
and I'm
God
happy.
damn it.
next album you gonna be singing?
Huh?
Next album you gonna be singing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All my music I'm gonna be singing.
100 episodes. This feels really. I have like mixed emotions right now. I feel sad. I feel proud of myself. I feel.
But sad, why?
Yes, I want to know.
I feel happy. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. It's so weird. Like,
The guy who said he's not complicated.
yeah, I'm mad complicated. Don't do that. That was off mic conversation, like, or off mic dialogue. Don't do that. It's weird. I don't know. Like, I just know how I started this and how, like, where I was like 2 years ago, and it's like to see that transition of the show and like myself and the opportunities that presented themselves. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know why I feel sad. Have y'all ever like accomplished something and you just don't feel all the way, I guess, right with it?
Graduation.
What do you mean?
When I graduated college, I was sad as hell. And it wasn't like I was gonna miss anybody or anything like that. I don't know. I was like really depressed that week. I know. It was weird.
I've had moments like this before, like when I bought something that I really, really wanted. When I get it, I don't feel as excited as
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
like prior to like getting it. And I feel like it's kind of like that, but
That's
And-
kind of how it was for me because it was like, you know, when you're a senior, everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to graduate. Can't wait to be done. Can't wait. Can't wait. Then when it finally happens, it's just like, well, this is the big whoop, you know?
yeah.
What next?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like usually like I do complain or like vent about like not being where I think I should be. It's not that at all. Like I'm definitely proud of where we're at and
Yeah.
like what's next and all that.
So
But
then be happy, damn it.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm proud. Like I'm gonna get into like kind of a full backstory for the new listeners of like how the show started. When we get to like the questions that we got emailed to us, there was a few, not too many. But first, I want to start with like episode 100. What does that mean to y'all? Like, what does it mean to y'all to be a part of this? When y'all first came on, did y'all think y'all would even stay on for this long? I mean, y'all didn't come on like too far from 100, but what does that mean?
When did me and Lainey come on? We came on in like
Like
50-something, 60-something episodes,
I
something
don't
like
know.
that.
Yeah, something
It
like
was in
that.
January. That's why I remember that. But I
Around there,
remember
59, 60.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what does it mean for you? What does episode 100, chapter 100 of Introverted Intuition mean to y'all?
It's like, it's definitely a milestone. And it just shows, to me, 100 episodes shows the dedication, not just from any one individual, but the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? What Introverted Intuition is, it just has longevity. And I feel like this and music are the two things that I'm the most consistent with. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I don't know. it comes naturally. Like podcasting really comes naturally at this point. Like I don't know, like not to say it doesn't take any effort, but it's effortless. You know what I'm saying? It's like when it's easy. I feel like people are always really good at things that they find easy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's easy. It's fun. You know what I mean? That's why I keep coming back, because it's fun. It's not hard. It's a good time.
It's really not work. It's
not work. It's like I'm playing. Like this is fun. Like I get to go to the city, meet up with you guys, and then afterwards we have our little side. Like you know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to those moments to record it. By the way,
right?
Like I really got to get a videographer for
I
those
look
moments.
forward to Thursdays to see you guys and hang out with you guys. Like I do. Like it's really fun. Like
dope.
For real.
What about you, Coco? What does this mean to you?
It just feels like an accomplishment. Like, you know, a lot of times I have a tendency of like, oh, I want to do something and I'll get into it, but then I'll lose steam on it, and then obviously lose interest. And then for me, it's a lot because I'm an introvert, so I'm very to myself. So it's making me be more vocal and, you know, not be as to myself. So it's for me, it's helping me in a lot of different ways.
I've seen the progress with you. Like
thank you.
Have like definitely opened up more since you first got
Fact.
on. You interject more. You're more vocal. You're strong with your points.
Because I'm just used to in groups just being more observant and watching people and just, you know, making my own little, you know.
Isn't it fun just observing people? I did that when I was in the club last week, just watching people how they move.
Well, in the city you can do that anyway,
People
like just sit and
watching.
watch people. I love doing that, but I'm realizing, you know, hey, this is making me more vocal. It's making me come out of my shell just a little bit more, not a ton, but I'm working on it. So it's helping me. Can't hurt.
What about you, Lainey?
You know, I'm just happy to be here.
Word.
You know, it's 100, and I'm just happy to be a part of something that's bigger than me. So it's not even like, you know, like CR said, I look forward to Thursdays. And
It's crazy. Like y'all, like we're all doing your own thing. Like y'all had another podcast. I mean, y'all dropped out, but y'all still came through to record. And CR
Well, off
was
the
doing.
strength of you asking us to come, so we always appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like y'all were literally like the first people I thought in mind. Like after the shit went left for like, well, you were already kind of a part of it, like with Lee. And when that shit went left, I was just like, yeah, Coco and Lady, like immediately. It was like a click.
And then when initially when we had been on your show as guests, I think not that long afterwards or right before you asked us to be on the show, we had talked and we were like, maybe we should ask him if we should be on his show. Like
so
something about
crazy.
it was in the air. I feel like there was like an energy in the air that we were just all like, yeah.
And one thing I noticed too is like once you guys like showed up, you guys always showed up, and I was just that's what made me like you guys, because it's like, all right, they really are trying to be a part of this. Like they're really consistent. Like consistency is everything.
We had conversations about that on the train. Like it was just a different vibe between like not discrediting what Lee did for the show during the time she was here, but like it was the missing link. Like y'all were what was
it
missing.
Feels right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels right.
It's so good.
And I get to me like 100 is just like I'm proud of myself because like this is the first thing I've ever committed to fully, and first thing I'm actually genuinely proud of. Like I've finished school and all that and stuff like that, and I've made fitness goals and stuff like that, but I've never was truly proud of that. I feel like I've never worked so hard, between like the traveling and spending your money and stuff like that and coming up with questions. Like I feel like I've never done anything like this before, so like it's definitely
the hard work shows and it's paying off.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could get into some of these questions that I got emailed. Well, I think Flip kind of just answered it. Well, not really. How did we all meet? I met Coco and Lainey when I asked them to come on my podcast when they were a part of Shake Them Up podcast. CR and I used to work together at this shitty company that would remain nameless.
Yeah, I was just about to spill the beans too.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't like CR at first, but I didn't know him.
Didn't?
Not like, but like, I don't know, because you were new, but you were getting along with everybody. I feel like, yo, why he getting along with my friends?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was hating, like,
peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, niggas like CR immediately, but then like, I still remember like the moment I think I first talked to him. Like we had to like remember like the little racks we had to go down the aisles with and put the stock back.
Yeah.
I remember like I was going up to like get more work or whatever, and you were coming down with your work or whatever, and we just connected and we just crossed paths and we started talking. I think you talked to me first. And then it was just that's what it was.
I'm trying to remember what I know. All right, so I know most of our conversations were about our dreams and our aspirations, but I know we also talked about other stuff too, like bullshit. Like we talked about a lot of bullshit.
I feel like
But that's other friends do. I mean,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
shit
We're
all
probably talking
day.
about other coworkers. There were some crazy motherfuckers working.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
coworkers do. You
Yeah.
get together, when you click, then you talk about the other crazy fucking coworkers.
Word.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I think you came up with the name Jump Out the Frame for the company there. I feel like you did.
Really?
I didn't, because I didn't come up with the name.
Oh.
It was my best friend William. He came up with the name, and we were smoking in my apartment. We were high as fuck, and he came up with the name.
Best ideas come when you're high.
Yeah, and he just gave it to me. He was like, "Yeah, man, jump out the frame." I'm like,
Well,
"What?"
yeah, you were talking. I think you had the name in place, but you were talking about what you
Yeah,
wanted to do
I was
with
talking
you.
about it.
It was like definitely early Jump Out the
Early.
Frame.
I didn't know what I was gonna do, if I was gonna make it a media company or make it a record label. Like, I didn't know. I just knew that name was catchy. Then I
Really
came up
is.
with the slogan,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I gotta do some shit with this.
it was that was big because like look at what it is now. You know,
Yeah, other
artist
people know
showcases
it.
left and right,
Yeah.
artists left and right. So the next one I saw was how did we all become like find the confidence to speak in front of a microphone, because we all have introverted tendencies, and I don't know, I don't really acknowledge it anymore. I look at it, but like I just can look around it
You see
and look
past
at the
it,
people
in other
around
words.
me, and just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's just like I'm doing what I love and what I am passionate about. So I guess to let a microphone stop me from speaking confidently, I guess I don't know. Doesn't seem right. I don't know about y'all. Like, Ciara, you
So-
do music. You do.
I'm naturally an introvert, but on the show it may seem like I'm an extrovert, but that's because I've been actually practicing sitting in front of a video camera. I used to always record myself because I wanted to be the next Angie Martinez. So I've always had a play radio station and on my computers, on my video cameras, you know, the big old school shits. Like, I still even have the tapes of me like having my own shows about my own top 10 and top 5. So this is always something I've always wanted to do. So it's just natural for me to be in front of a mic without my introverted issue being an issue, because this is just what I wanted to do. But if you was like catch me outside in a club, like I think we even went to an event, I'm to myself to the corner, like I'm really not really gonna interact. Like if you come speak to me, then I'm gonna always speak, but it's not that I'm conceited. I just don't know how to really mingle with people like
It's
that.
an introverted
So
nature.
it's really-
Like,
it's
yeah,
just-
just stay to themselves.
so where I'm like may seem extroverted on the show, that's only because this is my passion. But catch me in the street, I will look at you like, oh, hi, sorry.
I was very surprised to see you like at Press Play, like kind of just like chilling.
She was in
I
the
was,
cut.
I was
Totally in the
surprised
cut.
though. Like, I mean, I wasn't expecting you to be out on the floor dancing, but like, I was very
I'm an
surprised.
introvert. Like Coco will tell you, we've been out many places and we would like be in the cut chilling.
Yeah, there's
we
nothing
look
wrong
for
with
the
that.
cut to go sit
yeah,
and
to go
just
sit
watch
in the cut,
everybody.
yeah.
All right, this is a cool scene.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
You will always like, I will leave the cut real soon to go smoke in a minute. Like, I'll be back.
I mean, what about you, CR? Like rapping, I feel like you got to have that confidence to produce a song and speak and all that shit. Share your story.
So like for me, like it started on. I actually grew up being real shy, and I didn't really get my confidence till I was like 16, and that was like when I really started smoking weed. And then I found out that I was like, you know, that people thought I was funny and I had a personality.
You found out you found
Yeah,
your met your personality at 16.
Yeah, because like I always knew who. I mean, I didn't. All right, so I didn't have that much self awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't have any siblings. You know what I mean? So I didn't have anybody say, you know, that I was funny or anything like that. I just was who I was. You know, but I definitely started finding a knack for speaking in front of people once I went to college, because I had to play a lot of leadership positions. But genuinely, I just like talking to people, and I'm a people person, but I do have a cap. Like, once I am, like, exhausted from people, I need to go recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I consider myself an ambivert, because I do have both sides. Like, some days I'm totally an extrovert. I'm like dancing. Like when we was at Press Play, that was
Yeah.
extroverted
You were everywhere.
CR.
Yeah.
Not everywhere, but you know, you were working in the room. You was
Yeah.
talking to people, dancing,
Yeah,
chilling.
and I
That
feel
nigga
like
excited to be
I
at
was
Press Play.
excited. I was,
Yeah.
like,
He was
oh,
energized by
shit.
it. Yeah.
That was
Press
just-
Play, September 28th. Coming more details soon.
Yes, it's coming soon. But yeah, but then I always, you know, eventually revert back. And I mean, I think lately I've developed like some type of social anxiety too,
Really?
because I spend so much time alone. Think about it. I have no coworkers. I work by myself. I live by myself. So I'm always by myself. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, sometimes I'll be afraid to go to an event, and I don't know why. I just like I'll come up with reasons not to go.
The introvert in you.
That's the introvert in me, and it's just
You
like
talk your way out of it. Like, I don't need to go to this.
he's probably not even gonna be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like sometimes I do catch myself being more introverted and not really reaching out like that.
Yeah.
But then I try to force myself out of my comfort zone. And usually once I get there, I'm able to do it. But
it's never half as bad as when you actually get there.
Yes,
It's
it's
always
not.
like in your
In
mind,
your head,
like,
'cause I'm
nah,
an overthinker.
something's going to happen,
Yeah.
or like, I'm just going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to want
Yeah.
to talk to anybody. But then you get there and it's like, oh, this wasn't so bad.
It wasn't
I've
so-
been right before though. I've thought
Me
about
too.
things would go wrong and
Me
shit
too.
did go
Yeah,
wrong.
that
And
happens.
that's so
That
true.
happens.
Yeah.
But the
Yes.
odds are it usually goes right.
Yeah.
Than going
And if it
wrong,
goes wrong,
so.
sometimes because you already put it out there, so the universe is
That's
just
true.
responding
Yeah.
to
It's
what
gonna
you're,
manifest,
what
yeah.
you vibrating.
Yeah, and I hate doing things. I hate forcing myself to do things like even like working out. Like I don't want to go most of the time, but I like tell myself I need to, right? And
It's
then
one of those things.
it's either like hit or miss. It's a gamble. It's gonna turn out bad. It's gonna turn out good. Like I felt that way this entire week, but I had nothing but good workouts. So it's really just a gamble. Yeah, confidence is just it's been like a wavering thing for me. Like it just throughout my entire life. It's just and I don't know where that really stems from. Like maybe I don't know. I just feel my confidence is like on and off. It's like a light switch. Whenever it depends on the moment. But with this podcast, I feel like I have to like put my cape on, like my superhero cape and my mask, and be like this extroverted person and be this person because most of the time we have guests, so you got to make a good impression. I don't ever want to make a bad first impression on anybody. And there's people listening. I don't want to and I don't want to disappoint. What you mean?
I don't make a bad impression. I don't care. If I feel how I feel, I'm feeling like that, it's just happening that way.
If it happens to rub you wrong, oh well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like I
Yeah.
can't always put a mask on. I feel like that's been my issue for so long, always trying to like hide how I feel. It's like I'm battling. I can't save everybody, and it's not up to me to call people on their bullshit. But it's also like I have to do a better way of dealing with people's energy that I do think is full of shit and bullshit, without me sounding like a crazy bitch all the time. Because it's just like I do want to help, but it's also like the way this shit is set up right now, it's no longer my responsibility to help anymore. So now I have to like kind of detach myself from feeling like I need to save people or correct people, maybe from themselves.
It's
And-
not. It really isn't our responsibility.
Yeah,
and I think
and
that's
it's just-
it's ingrained in us to try.
And it's just like,
You don't always have to
especially
try.
like, because you do have people who you do want to help and they want the help, but then you also have people who don't want help, but they like being in that role.
I get it.
So it's just like I really had to learn not to care so much in a sense.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Watering too many plants leaves you
Yeah, it leaves
thirsty.
you, leaves you. So yeah, so it got to the point where I just had to start being more real with myself and just like I'm happy if I don't like it, then that's just what it is. Like I can't keep dimming my light so everybody could shine.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that I'm
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's kind of where my confidence started coming from, was just living in my truth. Like I've been learning how to do that more and just admitting to myself who I am and how I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to try to be this very nice person, and like I'm still
You
a
are a
nice
very nice
person.
person.
I
Yeah, you're
am.
a
I'm
very nice
because
person,
that's
yeah.
genuinely who I am. But I'm also an asshole. And that's just who I am.
Because I always tell somebody like you're nice, but you're not a nice person. You're nice because you want other people to like you. You're not nice because just like that's what you really want to do in that moment. It's just
Right.
because you want that acceptance in that moment. So
Right.
you'll probably agree to something you don't want to do, but you don't want nobody ever say, "Oh, you're mean."
Right. And that I've been battling with that like my whole life, because like if I were to think and say everything that I feel, like people would just, because like my realest friends, they know like, yo, Rod's a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like my real friends know like I'm a fucking asshole, but you know, sometimes it's hard because I've had to, you know, because of like jobs and stuff, I had to work in sales. You know, you can't talk to like that to everybody. Like,
But
I
just
don't know.
imagine if you could just walk around like Larry David for a day and just be like saying the most off the top,
So
like the
funny.
shit, you know, just being
Or you mean if you could be a
presence
kid
in your
again?
asshole.
If you could be a kid again?
Are we all still kids though?
Yeah,
I
I
guess,
still,
but-
I still relish in my kidness.
But I
You
feel like
gotta
that's
keep
the
that
part we
youthfulness.
lose, that honesty. Kids will call you ugly to your face and smile
Be like,
about
why
it.
you mad?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
are
but we,
ugly.
as adults, we've been trained to think that you can't do that.
right? Because
Well, I still do firmly believe that you really shouldn't call anybody ugly, like because beauty really is skin deep, and you
Subjective.
can look as just as bomb as fuck on the outside and be very, very ugly on the inside. So I have a really hard time of calling people ugly. My friends would tell you, everybody I date is quote unquote ugly to them. So it's just like,
it's subjective.
You
Yeah.
mentioned the word acceptance. I think that's kind of why I try to be as, I guess, extroverted and as confident as I be whenever we have a guest, because like I don't know, I do want acceptance. Like I don't know where that really comes from. Maybe that comes from like the rejection of like my pops not being around. Like I was rejected at birth. That's the way I look at it. And like I don't know, maybe in a way that's me as an adult trying to make up for that and like try to get that acceptance from everyone so I'm not rejected again. So, and I just want to make a good impression. Like if I'm inviting you to my platform, like, and I'm pitching it in a certain way, I feel like you have certain expectations for me to be a certain way and for an experience that you want to have. So that's, I think, why I try to, just put the introverted side to the bottom of the barrel and let the extroverted side come out as much as possible. But
one thing I learned about myself is that I'm what they call in psychology a high self-monitor. So when I'm in certain situations, like I'm the type of person, I like smooth social interactions. I feel so embarrassed when I have like a jagged social interaction, like if I stutter or if I mistalk or something. Like it's for some people it's not a big deal, but for me that's like my OCD. You know what I mean? So
I'll think of that, like if something like that happens to me, I'll think of it years down the line. All of a sudden, on top of my head, like, oh my god, it would still embarrass me. You know what I mean?
I'm still thinking about that time my my social studies teacher paid for my trip to go somewhere to Ellis Island, right?
okay.
And then there was something else coming up, and I was so grateful. I was just so happy. And then there was something else coming up, and then I was talking to her, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just get somebody else to pay for me." And I was just like,
Yo,
that slipped out, and she looked at me like, "You little motherfucker," because I was a con. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know what I'm
that
saying?
before in the show,
Yeah. So
I can see that.
definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing. But yeah, I still think about that to this day. I'm just
Nigga,
like,
take that sheep clothing off. Be a wolf.
I mean,
Wolves don't walk with shepherds, all
It's
right?
hard
Like I'm a whole wolf
sometimes.
and I don't care.
I that's why I admire you, because you're so raw. Like I'm raw in certain elements and when I'm in my comfort zone. But if I don't know people, like it's hard.
And this is me tame in a sense. Like this is not
Mm-hmm.
even like I
Full
think
on.
you probably would know more of the asshole I can be in a sense, or
Well,
how far I can go.
I understand what you're saying when you say you
Yeah.
describe yourself as such, but I would never would have described you as like
Because
an
she sees a
asshole.
sweetheart in a sense. Like,
The people who are close to you, like you guys will always see the nice side of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I love you
that's
guys.
true.
So it's like I don't see myself, unless it was something crazy, I don't see myself ever being that to you guys. But other people that I don't know, especially if a stranger, I'm an asshole. Like I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be cordial enough to not cause any conflict, but I don't genuinely care for just a random person.
That's how I felt. I kind of felt similar to you when we had Alex Wolf. Like I stuttered my ass off because it was frustration mixed with like just like being over it.
Yeah.
So my stuttering was just all over the place, and I was embarrassed. I said that to y'all. I was just straight embarrassed, and that's why I was so upset. It wasn't really at her and her not being open to answer any questions, but I just felt embracing my performance because I think about myself and how I do after this podcast more than anything. I don't even think about y'all because I know y'all great.
Thanks. No, I'm joking.
But I'm always like, when I do listen back and I do judge my performance sometimes, and I'm really hard on myself, but I'm working on it.
Don't
I
be so
think.
hard on yourself, Jeff.
I used to like think about the way I was speaking, if I would stutter and not get my point across the way I would feel that I should have. But now I'm just like, okay. Because I feel like I'm getting better as time goes on, and I'm more able to like say what I have to say. The only thing I would probably say when I had to slip up a few weeks ago when my true colors kind of came out. But then I thought about that too. I was just like, man, fuck that shit. Like, I ain't here to be liked. So if I did offend any listeners that day, I apologize for that. But just keep in mind, like, I am me, and
It shouldn't change just because people are listening, or
I'm not gonna like change or give you one way because you're listening. I just want you to know, like, I am who I am. I'm flawed and everything, and I try to be a better person every day. But fuck it, I'm flawed.
Let me ask y'all this:
I
like,
respect
were y'all was there like any bit of hesitation or nervousness to commit to the show? I mean, like, you guys have had dreams of doing this or whatever, but like, and you've kind of had experience speaking in front of a mic, but you are kind of. I feel like we all are extremely vulnerable at times on the show, and we do express ourselves. And this is like completely different from like a normal thing people do, right? I feel like podcasting is oversaturated, but people don't really commit to the idea of doing it each week. So I'm curious, was there like any hesitation for y'all when I first initially asked you, and why?
and every week since then, up until maybe I don't even know, maybe a month ago, and that wasn't anything with anybody else. It was more so. It took me a while to realize when I would walk into the room with y'all, I feel what y'all feel. But then, and obviously that's intermixed with what I feel, like whatever you're dealing with the day, whatever's going on. But it took me a while to realize I'm absorbing a lot of it, and it's making me like this, making me like frazzled. So I really had to talk to myself every week, like, it's okay, whatever you feel, just push it away. And eventually I got a little bit more comfortable, but I couldn't help it at first. I just felt so nervous, especially when we had guests. I would become overly nervous, and I was like, okay, this can't just be me. I have to probably maybe be absorbing people's energy a little bit and not really focusing on my own. So just meditating a little bit more and just talking to myself a little bit more and not being so hard on myself made a difference.
I think we all get a little nervous when a guest comes on. I feel like because we not like maybe we all don't feel like Jeff where we're trying to, you know, however you explain it, because I don't want to say because it may sound like horrible if I explain it back. So, but how you explain it, I think we all kind of have that sense, maybe not to that extreme, but it's just like, it goes beyond the guests. It goes to the listeners too. Like, they're listening, they're tuned in, they want to hear a show, they want to hear our opinion, they want to hear a good show. So I do feel like when we kind of do flip or we mess up, like the way we speak or we don't get our point across the way we wanted to, it's a disappointment within ourselves. But I definitely understand, like, when the guests come on, the little extra nervousness, because they bring a whole nother energy with them.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't know for sure if you're going to vibe with them or not.
And I think that's always the thing with me, like.
And I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to obviously not name any guests, but there's definitely been some guests where I didn't necessarily vibe with them all the way, but I still tried to have a good interview and still tried to, like, you know, make the best of it. And you know what I mean? And just, you know. But yeah, there's been a few times where it might be some people where I was just like, oh, this guy's.
Yeah, I feel like we got pushed back with some guests, like not naming any names, but there's been some guests. I feel like it was one. If you look at the YouTube, I feel like I got cursed out one time by one of the guests. It was cool.
Oh no!
Wait, really?
Not like cursed out, but like he got really like. I asked him one question, he got like defensive, agitated. But I took that all in stride. It was just like, okay, like. But cool. And then another female too. I think when we was explaining the whole Nikki situation, that was like a real flaring of difference of opinions in that room too that day. So, but we've always dealt with that with like a grain of salt. Like, okay.
Yeah. But like, was there any like hesitation for you to like commit to coming, like
to commit to coming? Up until it was never before. Then recently it was just like, okay. I think recently I was reminded. Because, you know, a lot of stuff was said behind the scenes, too. And it was just like, you know, this is your show. And that's always going to be something in the back of my mind because I've always wanted my own show in a sense. And I've always wanted to produce and I've always wanted to, like, it's not about me always being on the mic. It's about me also putting together a really good segment, a really good show. And that's what I was trying to put forward that day with the whole mental health and relationships things because I am more than just a mic. I am more than just a voice. Like, there is a whole working mind behind me where I can write screenplays. I can do treatments for music videos. I am just that creative with certain things. So it's more to me than just being in front of the mic. So I'm going to continue with you because I have put my name out there. I have gave you my word. But I've also made it very clear in the very beginning. I think if you go back to like maybe the third episode with us on here, I also have very said, like, you know, I do want to branch out and do more things. I even brought to you the idea of a whole Sunday soul food show in a sense. So I'm always constantly working and thinking about things where we can separate ourselves even individually and even as a group. So
I think that's dope, though, because that's what brings the flavor into the whole situation because we all have our individual talents and I don't think we should ever like you know put those to the side. You know, like obviously we're all dedicated to introverted intuition, but it shouldn't stop us from doing other things. Like like podcasting, like I'm not gonna lie, like I would love to have my own show one day, you know what I mean? Like this has inspired me to maybe do that one day. I don't know when or how, but it's like being a part of this has made me look at podcasting totally different. Definitely. Yeah.
Or like just the radio itself, or just being creative, because I feel like it doesn't have to even be podcasting. Like I see whole sketch, like I'm thinking whole sketch shows and all types of shit. Like it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to just stop here. But I don't want you to ever feel like, because you ask these something. I feel like you ask these questions because you want that reassurance that nobody's gonna leave you in the shadows and the shade, but we would never leave you in the
No.
shadows and the shade. Like, let's just get that very clear out there. But I have to pose this question to you because, you know, you are the man behind the show in a sense. So what if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, we just want you, yeah. Like, you know, those are like those that, you know, I'm trying to say that's the real question here. It's just like, you don't got to worry about our loyalty because we show you day in and day out, like, we're right here. And even after because, you know, behind the scenes, when we had that moment and you said what you said, I could have easily said, you know what, you're right. This is your show. I'm gone. But I'm still right here.
That says a
So
lot
never
about you.
question my loyalty at all.
Yeah.
Like, ask yourself these questions.
Right. No.
Are you going to remain true? Are you going to be here if somebody comes to you and be like, hey, you know, I love this show. I love your idea. But, you know, you don't need all four of you. I could just take one of you, you know?
Yeah, nah. I don't think I know I wouldn't commit to that because I feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it by myself. I've done episodes by myself, and it's very awkward. I don't enjoy talking to myself and hoping someone's listening. So, and outside of like this, like we have a relationship, we have connections with each other, and I value that and I appreciate that. And I have always expressed that like you guys reminded me you reminded me that there are good people out there and loyal people who will commit to without expecting anything back. And
That's rare to find.
And won't abandon you. So like, yeah, I wouldn't even allow myself to get into a situation like that where I'm having a meeting alone without y'all. Like I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow and I invited y'all. You know what I mean? So
Just too early in the day. So.
yeah, whatever. I'll tell you how it goes.
Too early.
I'll tell you how it goes. If there's any money involved, there definitely you will be privy to the information. But yeah, I would never allow myself to get put in that situation. And I would never. I'm loyal. Except for that time we talked about, like, if we all went down to jail or some shit like that, and like, they had me in the back interrogation room, like, slapping
This
me
nigga
around.
snitching.
Yeah.
Not good.
CR, you going down,
I
man?
already know not to do any crimes with this guy. Like, no.
Yeah.
No felonious activities with this guy.
You go away with Jeff away from seats. Make sure everybody pack your own luggage.
Oh, for real.
Caught up.
This is a question that I got from people who I just know in my personal life and that was emailed to me. What happened with Michael, the original person I did this podcast with, and what happened with Lee? Lee is a bit shorter. Should we start with that, I guess? I don't even, to this day, I still don't know what happened, honestly. Like, it was basically, she was a part of the show.
She's still a friend of the show.
Yeah, and CR and her just didn't vibe, and that's
But
pretty
it
much
was
what
on
it
one
comes down
particular
to.
issue. Was it an ongoing thing, or was it just one issue?
For me, it was a lot of underlining tension, because I felt that she had a lot of self-interest. And this is not to attack her character. I think she's still a dope personality, great show. But we're just, we're different people. And I'm the type of person, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm going to, be a part of something, I'm going to think like, I'm not thinking like, oh, how am I only going to benefit? How are we all going to benefit? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was a particular situation where I was trying to get Introverted Intuition to do a live episode at one of my events at my album release in December. And I gave her I gave Jeff and Lee the opportunity to basically have their own table. And I was trying to come up with ideas on how you guys were going to, conduct the episode. And there was some discourse with the whole way things were structured. She needed things to be already down, written in stone. And if anybody knows anything about organizing events, things aren't written in stone until maybe 2 weeks before.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
That's a long time.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like she wanted things to be done in a particular manner that was a bit restricting for me, and didn't leave it to be very flexible. And I felt that I was already being a good guy by giving you the opportunity to begin with. Yeah. And, she felt hesitant, and then she pulled out and just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
And probably she needed that in order to be confident enough to do it. So
right.
It been,
and that's why I said, like, I have no bad blood with her. Like, I say what's up to her. I'm excited to see Lee when I see her. Like, I have no hard feelings. But there was a lot of miscommunication that happened between us because we were talking through text. And it just ended up with her saying that she couldn't be in the same room with me.
Yeah.
And she wanted to separate from the situation. And in my opinion, that's when her true colors came out, and it felt like she was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. because she had her own show and she was #1 on the network at the time. So personally, I didn't take that no type of way because it is what it is. You can't change people. Like, you are who you are. I'm going to accept you for how you are. I'm not going to ask to change you or anything. But if I'm not the type of person that could work with you, I'm just not going to work with you. So that's really what it was. I was still here, and I'm not going to lie. When we did have that whole discourse,
You were out too.
I was considering it.
Yeah.
I was considering it because her and Jeff had a relationship before I was around. They've known each other already. So it was just like, does it make sense for me to stay if I'm the problem? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of person, I'm a problem solver. So I can admit if I'm the problem. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm causing whatever kind of conflict or tension. Yeah. So I was willing, but then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? I really want to be a part of the show. So I said, you know, I'm not going to leave. I am going to stick around. But before I even mentioned anything, she already had said she didn't want to be a part of the show anymore. So it was kind of just like, to me, it was the universe putting things in perspective because everybody's truth comes out eventually. And that was her truth. She didn't want to be a part of the show anymore.
Yeah.
And I always felt like that. And I used to have my conversations with Jeff, like, I don't know, like, you know, she's cool, she has a great personality, but maybe she's more focused on her show and growing her show, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like,
doing a lot of shit at the same
that's what I'm
time.
saying.
So
you're
hard,
#1 on the network. You're going to prioritize your show.
Yeah.
But I got that vibe from her, and that's why I was just like, okay, we have different priorities.
And I was given a choice at the time to either do it by myself and find new people, be with just CR and see what happens, or just stick with Lee. And that was tough for me because I had a relationship with both of y'all. Yeah. But like I started feeling like I was a problem because I feel like I kind of caused that conflict for y'all two entities to come together and just not get along. And then I felt like I kind of ruined a great relationship that y'all could have had. So I kind of felt guilty about that.
I don't feel like it was you. We're different.
Different people.
Me and Lee are very different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's very cocky, arrogant type. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. It's fun. She it's her personality. Like, it's fun. But I'm also like that. So it's sometimes two of the same type of energies that go in there.
They don't mesh.
It's not gonna mesh well. So it's just like, you know, who's going to yield first? You know what I'm saying? If neither of us are going to yield, then we're just going to clash.
And in hindsight, I feel like that was an important moment for just this show and me because, like, it showed me who you are. Like, you were still willing to commit, even though you personally didn't feel right about that situation. And I looked at you a bit differently that day, like more respect than I ever had, because it was like, okay, he really was pissed off. He really was over it, but he still decided to come back. So, like, I'll always appreciate you for that.
Right.
Like,
I appreciate that you appreciate it because it did take a lot for me.
You said that over the phone, I remember.
Because yo, like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I was very upset. I was just upset about how she handled it, and she did apologize, and she did, you know, we pieced everything.
And it's all water under the bridge now.
It's water under the bridge, yeah. And like I said, like I don't hold grudges. I don't want that energy inside of me. So, like, I got nothing but love for Lee. She's cool peoples. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy everything happened the way it happened, though.
The segue into grudges. What happened between me and Michael?
That was your version of Michael Jackson?
For anyone who hasn't, like, gone back to the early episodes, maybe, like, the first episode to, like, maybe mid-30s, early 40s. I don't even know. But Michael was my best friend. Like, we were super, like, in sync. Like, we were pretty much the same person, but two different signs, two different people, two different ages, whatever. Like, we were, like, the same. That was my best friend. And the original vision for this show was inspired by the Brilliant Idiots podcast, Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz. Like, that duo, like, that funny connection, that comedic effect, that at times, like, very serious conversations. That's exactly what I wanted this show to be with Michael. And I taught myself how to record and edit the audio and bought all the equipment. I didn't ask him for a dime for any of that. I didn't ask him for any of that. All I wanted was for him to show up. Because I feel like in my mind he would make an excuse like with like not having the time or not willing to learn it. So I just did it myself to just guarantee his spot at the table so we could record. And yeah, we did it off my laptop for like a whole year and it was fun. It was really, really fun. Like it was also inspired by the conversations that we had off mic and high. It was just funny. And I always felt like it should be recorded. I felt like people should hear it. And we did that for a bit. And then I wanted to up the ante and up our level in production and everything. And I found Gotham. Again, I did that myself. I didn't ask him to help me do it. I set up the meeting with Brianna, and we both, I remember that walk back to Penn Station from the original Church Street location. Like, we were both very excited. We loved the studio. We loved the people. We loved the energy. We were ready to commit to it. And we did it for a little bit here. But like other people, like all people, we all have our own interests. We all have like things we want to do with our lives. And his interest was film, so he wanted to go to film school, and he did that. I think he got in or something like that. He did get in, and when it came down to the second payment for Gotham, like the second payment of the month, whatever, I asked him. The night he came over to my house, I asked him like, "Yo, are you willing to like pay half of this, like so we can keep doing this?" And he stayed quiet for a bit, and he was just like, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like focus on my stuff, like my film stuff. Like I'm in school, mind you. He was only, I think at the time, doing school like once a week, and it was in New York City. And he also had a full-time job, so I can understand maybe you're being tired. But mind you, we live right up the street from each other. All I was asking was for you to come maybe for an hour a day. It doesn't matter. It could be a day as best for you. It may not be best for me, but we can make it work. We do it for an hour. Just record up my laptop and just keep going, keep the content going." But he decided to opt out and just do his own thing, focus on his school. And I respected it. I even told him I respected that. Like, you paid a lot of money to get to school. It's what you really want to do, so do it. But all I was asking was an hour of your time each week. We live by the street, literally 5 minutes from each other. You have to pass my house to get to your house. But he didn't want to stay on, and it really, really hurt me because like I never asked him for anything, but I've been there for him in situations always, like no matter what. And I felt betrayed, and not maybe it wasn't really betrayed. I felt abandoned, and because I never would expect that from him. I never expected it, and
Never say never.
I deaded the whole friendship just from that, and that may have been selfish on my part.
I was about to ask if you're still friends. Yeah.
I deaded everything, like because I felt like.
What was the point? Has he reached out since then or no?
I blocked his number because I just didn't want that. Like, I didn't even want to.
Oh, thank you.
And it's stupid of me to trade like a whole year's worth, lifetime worth of friendship and memories for this. But I was extremely passionate about that, and I feel in my mind, if you see your friend passionate about something for the first time and doing everything to create this show, like why wouldn't you want to just think as a friend, like your natural instinct to help? I want to help any way I can, and to not see that
reciprocated?
Yeah, like I'm getting upset thinking about it. Like it's really hard to talk about, and I never really want to talk about it again. But
and it was like I feel like if y'all just would have had a conversation and he just would have said, "Hey, you know, my interest lies elsewhere right now. I still got you. I'm gonna be a friend of the show.
Well,
we're always gonna be people." Like,
he was the one who put in my mind to even ask Lee as a co-host. He was like, "You know what? Well, you could ask Lee. Like, maybe you guys have a connection. You guys could do it." But like at the time, I didn't really know her. I mean, I still don't really know her like that. But you telling me as my best friend to go work with a stranger when you could work with me?
But maybe, but could you just maybe understand that it wasn't his dream and your dream was two different dreams?
And I respect that, but
I'm just trying to figure out, like, how did you end the whole friendship that you had? Like, that's your brother. You said that was your brother for years.
Yeah.
And it's just like because you know, this is, you know, it happens when it's just like y'all not gonna see eye to eye. Y'all don't have to have the same dream. But y'all don't have to not be friends because of that neither.
But this dream is everything to me. Like,
and I understand that, but maybe his film dream is probably everything to him.
Right, and I was always willing to do whatever to help that, and I did. Like, we did film stuff, and I was always there. So it's just like to not get that same energy. I just had enough, like, of not, because during that time I feel like I was given more than I was getting from like everyone in my life, and I just had enough. Like that was like the boiling point.
That was the straw.
That was the boiling point for me, and I did act emotionally in the moment and just deaded it, and I kind of do regret it. I feel like if I hit him up today, it I don't know, maybe he would answer, but like I've thought about it, but.
And I feel like if you think about it, then it's enough to pursue it because I just don't like. I can even hear in your voice like you don't. It's still something you battle with back and forth when you late, like you know when you probably sit down, you have quiet time to yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I'm sure if he just would have said, I can't be on a show with you, but I'm still riding with you. Like, I believe in your dream. I just can't be a part of it.
If he would have said that, maybe I would respect it. But the way he said it seemed like just go figure it out. And I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it at all.
Was there issues between you guys and your friendship before the podcast?
Nah, we were good.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like, you know, it really could have been, because, you know, I feel like sometimes men just don't communicate properly.
No.
And it's just like, yeah, sometimes you have this thing in the back of your head, like, well, you're not my bitch, so I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat your feelings for you because I got to do it with my bitch all day, so I'm not going to do it with my nigga. And I think maybe that's also what it is, too. Y'all just didn't communicate properly how y'all both felt, where y'all can both understand each other and not just react from what's being said.
I kind of feel like that needed to happen in a way, maybe not the ending of the friendship,
Definitely,
but like
yeah.
that moment for me, because like that was like my main driving force to really keep going and figure it out, because I felt like he didn't believe, so I wanted to prove him wrong. That was my main, for like a whole last year, like that was like my main goal, like driving force to keep going. Was like, okay, you don't believe, so I'm gonna show you.
So now
You gonna
what's
see
your driving
me.
force?
I think I realized that it's bigger than me, and like this is what kind of keeps me sane and not get back into that deep depression. So, like, I think the reception that I've seen from it, and like that has like been my main driving force to keep that going. I like that. I like seeing the responses. I like seeing the conversations about the episodes. I like people saying they heard the episode and they loved it. Like, it's bigger than me. Like, I think we are affecting people's consciousness in a way. I think we are helping people. So it's bigger than me. Like, I want to keep that going. That's like my main driving force, to know that it's a possibility that people are being helped by our words in this platform.
I want to chime in. I think I don't know if you could necessarily salvage the same friendship that you have with Michael. Probably not. I mean, obviously it's up to you, but I think you should at least like make peace with him, because I feel like you still hold that energy inside you. As you saw how it was emerging as you were speaking on it. I think, you know, that would help with the internal peace, you know, just having closure, because I think sometimes burning a bridge like that, you know, leaves a lot unsaid. You know what I'm saying? And you have 100% right to feel how you felt about the situation. You know, he was supposed to help you, and in that moment maybe his tone of voice was not supportive and it wasn't what you wanted to hear. But at the same time, you got to also be willing to understand his perspective, and it's hard to do that if you're not even talking to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, no, I mean, nobody's a saint, nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? People make mistakes. But at the end of the day, you can control your actions. You know what I mean? You can't control other people's actions. And I just feel like it would be something that would help bring more things into perspective if you were just to talk to him and just have an honest conversation about everything. And even if you guys never talked again after that, you know, whatever. But maybe that's something you might need and you don't even know it. You know, I'm just saying maybe it's something to think about.
Closure, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, when things happen to me, I literally can like just suppress it and just not acknowledge it, and that's the way I deal with it. I mean, of course, it'll probably, that's not good because it'll flare up just like how it kind of did. But I don't know. In my mind, me not acknowledging it is peace for me.
And that's why I said it's up to you, however you want to handle it. You know what I mean?
Maybe I would like to. I've thought about it, but at this point in my mind, I feel like it's too late. It's been like over a year now, so I don't know. Maybe I'll give him a call. We'll see what happens.
Never know.
You have something else? Because I feel like one of y'all reacted to what I said, and I thought you had it. Want to chime in?
Because I had
that's what happened.
I had a similar situation where I ended one of my friendships that I had for a long time. Somebody that I was friends with since the 5th grade. But my reason for not being their friend was just a historic, continual line of being a poor friend. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, you have all these great qualities. Like, you're funny as hell. Like, you always spark me up. You know, you treat me to dinner and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was great, but you're a liar. You've stolen from me before. You've conned me before. So it's just like your morals and integrity don't match with your character. And it's real hard to accept that kind of person in your life when you're ready to grow. So that was my reason for ending that. I mean,
those
like,
people don't grow.
They don't. And that was the thing. To this day, he's still the exact same person, still roaming the streets, drinking, smoking, and looking crazy. You know what I mean? I got that guy his first job. Like, I helped him when his father got locked up, and he called my phone because he was crying because, you know, they were just in a car chase, and they crashed, and you know, he's been through a lot of traumatic shit, and I was like the last person to stay his friend. You know what I mean? Because I really wanted to just be there. Like, I'm that type of person. Like, I'm a healer by nature, so it's just like,
A lot of people though who have been through trauma don't know how to treat other people.
and that's exactly what it was. And then I had to realize that unless he goes to therapy or unless he does a lot of soul searching, which I know he's not going to do because he's so clouded by the drugs, alcohol, and sex, that he's not going to be able to have enough insight to make or rectify the things that are wrong with him inside.
And he has to want to.
He has to want to, and he's going to have to get to that place on his own. And that's when I knew I had to break that friendship, because we were on two different paths and there was nothing else I could do, and the relationship was becoming toxic.
It's funny I think one of y'all, I think it was you who asked me, like, was there any like rocky situations between us prior to like us like separating? I don't think there was anything rocky, but I did notice like every time we wouldn't see each other and we like reunite and like catch up, like he would always say situations that he had that he considered fun were like always drug related. Like he was always like very adventurous, but like I feel like it was becoming like a problem. I never really expressed that, and I was getting worried. And
like
I feel like that's
hard shit, or
like mixing pills and like psychedelics and shit like that, like constantly. And like I always felt like he was kind of running from something, but he would never admit it. But and for me, like when every conversation was like that, I just felt like, yo, I can't even relate to you anymore. And that's kind of where I feel like we kind of fell off even earlier than that situation, at least in my mind. But I still was present because I didn't want him to die. You know, if there was a problem, I wanted to know. But I wanted to figure it out on my own. But it got to a point where I just was like, this is just, I can't.
And it's so crazy that you mentioned that you felt that he was running for something. Because the person that I'm talking about, it wasn't until after we ended our friendship that I realized what he was running from, like, all these years. Because there was so many different things that just, like, were, like, little signs where it was just, like, he has an internal conflict. There's a reason why he's fucking getting blasted and drinking a whole 24-ounce bottles of Coronas before we go to work. You know what I mean? And it was because later on I found out that he was bisexual.
Oh, shit.
And that he was having relations with different men, and he was in I guess you could say like a relationship with an older man, and that older man was the one who reached out to me after I ended my friendship with this guy, and he hit me up, and he was just like, hey, have you heard from such and such? And I was like, nah, last time I heard.
You knew that person beforehand?
Yeah,
or, okay.
because I met him. But for me, when I say this was shocking, and I have, like, anybody who knows me, I'm not homophobic. Like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what you do with your dick is your business.
Word.
But it's like, that just shows how much you couldn't accept yourself and how much you had to hide. And he was, we call it reaction formation in psychology. So you'll talk about something homosexual, and he'll be like, oh man, fuck that. He used to use derogatory terms to describe people who were homosexual, and it was just like, damn, bro, you going in,
Going
like
hard, yeah.
going hard, just to find out that this whole time, you know,
that's how it usually works with people who have this big thing with homosexuality, because it's like, if it doesn't affect you, why are you so bothered? Bless you. Why are you so bothered by what somebody else is doing in their bedroom? It's just like, unless you, I call them like a real Bible thumper, and you think your mission in life is to like, you know,
save people and their souls.
Save people and their souls, and that's fine. But you know.
Wait, where's he at now?
Somewhere wandering the streets of Newark.
Damn.
Like, you know, I don't know, man.
Pray for that guy.
Yeah, man. Like, his when he was born, his mother left, and when she came back into his life, she had cancer, and she was there to basically have a relationship with her son before she died. So I didn't know she had cancer. It was until later on I found out, and she passed away. Then I found out, but you know, his whole family, everybody's from Newark, so you know, they really like, they hood as hell too. Like, his father's a drug dealer, in and out of jail since he was 16. You know what I'm saying? His mom was another runner. Like, it's just like he came from a very unstable household. So he never really had that structure that he should have had, I guess, really, really young. But he did have his grandmother who tried everything in her power to provide a normal, quote unquote, life for him, normal, right? But he just wasn't grateful because he was upset. He was mad, man. He was
Nature
mad.
versus nurture.
Yeah.
Like,
He was mad. He was mad at the fact that he didn't have his mom around. He didn't have a good relationship with his dad. Like, him and his father used to argue. His dad was really rough with him all the time. So it was just like he was dealing with so many different conflicts. And then that was just the cherry on top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just like, man, like that's when I finally understood him. It's crazy because it was after our friendship ended that I truly understood him. And then I look back at everything, like why he treated me so well and why he, treated me like his brother, because he didn't have that male figure in his life. You know what I mean? That's why he, like, sometimes he would really be like, yo, man, can I buy some time? Can I treat you out to dinner or lunch so we could just hang out? And it'd be like, that's why I'm like that with certain people, because it's just like, damn, like this person really is alone. They're lonely. Like they really want some type of companionship. And it's hard for me to deny that because I know what it feels like to be lonely.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm curious, has this show, like, maybe just the act of traveling here each week or feeling the need to, like, come up with questions, like, has it, like, affected, like, taking a toll on your mental health in any way? Like, at times, ever?
Just like what I was personally speaking about before, it definitely made me anxious. But, just being aware of it and cognizant and trying not to let it make me anxious, yeah.
I feel like, yeah, and, like, you were speaking about how, like, certain things that we speak about and certain energies make you feel, like I wonder if that's, like, a thing that we all have experienced at any point on the show. No?
Well,
maybe after certain conversations, like, I feel like, use as an example, the Alex Swift episode, like, the energy in there, in that room, in this room, I think it was this room, actually, for me, like, based off my performance and how the interaction went, I felt like it was really bad, and it did bring me down. I didn't want to almost put it out, like, and it was the act of traveling that day. I feel like I got there a little late, and yeah, like that's coming from Jersey to New York. Sometimes it is really hard. I feel.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's like draining.
If you don't feel like doing it, it is a mission.
Yeah.
Like if you don't feel like being here that day, it's like like because I never got a chance to answer that question earlier. If I ever had any hesitation.
Oh my bad.
About you're good about continuing the show. Like I wouldn't say necessarily hesitation about doing it, but it was more or less about the commitment of being here every week that used to kind of drain me, because that's how I am as a person. When I think about anything that I'm about to have to do, it's bigger in my head than it is in real life. So you helped me so much when you told me and you made it very adamant, like, yo, CR, if you can't be here for an episode, it's cool. Like, don't feel bad about that. And that alleviated a lot of pressure, because I know what kind of standards you kind of held, like Michael to, and like, the other people you've worked with. So it was just like, damn, like, I don't want to make it seem like if I miss a week that I'm saying, fuck this guy. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, my life is very all over the place. As together as it seems, I'm not together. Like, I literally probably couldn't survive in a 9-to-5 world, because I literally wouldn't be able to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be able to create my own schedule, because the way my life is structured, there's some days I literally just don't have enough time to do what I need to do, because I'm doing like so many other things that I feel like I have to do. You know what I mean? So that, in that essence, I did hesitate. But then the other side kicked in, and I realized how much and how therapeutic this is for me, like genuinely therapeutic. Like just sitting here and talking with you guys, it's just like, oh, it's a release. You know what I'm saying? It's a release. And I know I keep saying this, but then after, when we smoke and we're talking, we're chopping it up still, it's just so fucking cool.
It's like 2 podcasts, really.
It's like 2 episodes, and it's like, like, you guys are really my friends. Like, I fuck with you guys. And it's just like, I don't know. I need that.
Word.
It's become necessary.
Yeah, now it's just like...
Yeah, and I do stand by that. Like, if y'all ever feel like y'all have to, like, feel like you have to come, like, don't. Like, I'm feeling comfortable conducting an interview or whatever by myself if I have to. And if we all can't make it, then I'll just cancel. I'll pay it, whatever. Like, it's just like, I get that sometimes we all have our own individual lives, our own individual problems. Like, Lainey, she didn't come last week. She didn't have time to just decompress and get back in tune with herself. Like, and I think we all should do that sometimes, Like, I'm planning a vacation for myself. Like, it was supposed to be September, but I'm, like, a little broke. But,
What was I doing last Thursday?
I'm gonna take like a whole week off in like December and just go somewhere like by myself. In a
Yeah.
whole
You
nother
need more
city.
than a week, Jeff. Not for nothing. You need 2 full weeks. No, I'm serious because a week is not going to do it.
Yeah.
You need. The mind doesn't even realize it's been on vacation after a week. You need 2 full
Well,
weeks.
tell that to my bank account.
Okay.
Then we'll work on it. We'll work on 2 weeks. If you want to pay for the extra
Go
week,
somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Have
saying.
a
You could do a week away and a staycation.
you
Like
could
there's
do a
ways
week
to
away
work
and-
around the budget. Like
Yeah.
you know, we're not talking about going to Bali for 2 weeks.
shit, I wish.
That would be
Yo,
fabulous.
Not
but-
yet. Not
Yeah.
yet.
I was looking up ticket prices yesterday. It was from for like a whole week in Japan. The ticket price round trip was $647. I was on the checkout screen. I didn't purchase
That's
it.
really cheap.
$647. It was like for
That's-
June of next year.
That's
but like,
really cheap,
That's
right?
I ain't
super cheap
purchased
to
it.
go all the
Usually
way
it's
over
like
there.
it's something I don't know the average, but it's something like between like 9,000, something like
Yes.
that, right?
But yo,
Japan.
2020
$1,000.
Japan, I will be in you and I will love you and I will embrace you.
Sounds so specific.
Yo!
And
I will be in you.
Yeah, yo. I will be there
In
2020.
you. Oh.
Lady's face.
It's like,
I was just like,
what?
okay, no judgment here.
Looking at Pornhub earlier. It was just like, so he said it was just like, wait, what?
Y'all want to get into like the list that we talking about? The top rappers and singers list?
Okay. Everybody had the same reaction.
Wait, what do you mean? Y'all, wait, why?
You know, I was so excited to do do this list, and halfway through my list, I was just like, "Yo, this is just a personal list.
Yes,
It
same
is
thing I did.
personal.
It's
Yeah.
just personal. Like,
Yeah.
we
Mine's
don't-
fact.
We don't.
I'm not debating
Mine's
nobody on my
fact, I ain't
list.
gonna lie.
I'll
My
tell
number
you
one is
that.
fact. Well, why is yours fact? Like, cause my thing is like, what are we basing this list off of?
Maybe
Like,
I don't know. Like just
He was just on my screen.
longevity, like talent, like success, like
handwritten.
I love handwriting everything.
You have a very beautiful
Do
handwriting.
I?
Impact,
I
really?
wrote it
For the
like
record.
8 times
me
because I was
see.
like, I'm not gonna let them
That's
look at my
nice.
chicken
let me
scratch.
see. Let me see. That's fire. Teach me.
Until you hear it.
Teach me how to. Who wants to go first? Let's start with rappers.
I'll go first. Go first.
Go ahead.
Just
Okay.
because I'm hesitant and always like going last. Okay, I'm just gonna start.
Yes.
And nobody count, okay? Okay, here we go.
This is like your
Nobody
Can't.
count
Like
because
your
it's
what
over
is-
10.
I can't count.
Okay.
Okay, good. Nas. This is in no particular order.
Okay.
Okay.
But Nas is first. Nas,
You got a crush on Nas, don't you?
Biggie. No, I just like his work.
Mm.
MC Light, Queen Latifah, Tupac, NWA, Wu-Tang Clan, Outkast, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Snoop, Lil Kim, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, and LaKayla 47. That's my list.
First of all, you had J. Cole too low on the list. But
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that.
Alright.
But he was higher, and then I put him lower, and then I was just like, just put him wherever you put him.
I think that's where he belonged, honestly. All right, Jay, and this is order. This is order.
we already know, Jeff.
Jay,
We already know.
Jay, Snoop, DMX, Jadakiss, and Pac. That's my top 5. The honorable mentions are Drake, Kendrick, Joey Badass, Game, Big L,
the fuck?
Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill, Fab, and that's it for
I
now.
give you Big L, Queen Latifah. I can't
she
give
can
you
rap.
Lauryn
You
Hill.
and I, T.Y.
Yo, I think Queen Latifah was the best femc.
No, I said I'll
ever.
give you Queen Latifah. I'll give you Big L. I gotta take away Drake
Really?
because Drake
Yeah.
is not even on my list.
Well, okay, so I'm not talking. Okay, it was
like
rapping.
you talking rappers. Like I love Drake, love Drake, love Drake,
He wouldn't
love
be on
Drake,
my
love
list.
Drake. But he is an artist. He is a musician. He is bigger than a rapper.
He is, but when he raps, he's able to go in different pockets and flows. He's able to keep up with the times. Is what I'm saying. Jay can't rap over a trap beat the way Drake can. He can't flow over it. He can rap over it. He can't flow
But
over
this
it.
is why Jay is. But you had him on number 1, so I don't know.
Well,
you
Jay-
you gave Drake honorable mention, so I don't know whose ass you kissing in the radio world.
Okay, well, like
But,
the list for me was more than just like the music. It was like longevity, like impact, all of that.
You know, I had this argument with somebody earlier because it was just like a lot of people want to keep saying Jay to say Jay, but it's just like if you want to talk about longevity and albums and everything of the sort, give me one last Jay album you really fucking loved.
444.
You really loved it. I loved it
love
for
that
different
album.
reasons. For different reasons.
Legacy, Marcy Me, shit, the title track 444.
So like that's his greatest body of works. his last
That's it's top. It's now in the top 5 for me.
What are your top 5 Jay-Z albums? I'm just curious.
Reasonable Doubt, Black Album, I put 444 number 3,
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Come number 4,
Mhm.
and Volume 1 in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kingdom Come
I
is really
guess.
slept on.
Kingdom Come is like number 1 for me for a lot of different reasons, but I guess that's cute.
It's cute, but you're wrong. That's what she's trying to say.
No, it's just like that's cute. I feel like that's the list people. I feel like those are the albums everybody say because somebody else told them to say it.
Or they're trying to appeal to
But
the
I'll
masses,
give
yeah.
you Kingdom Come because not a lot of people mention Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
But I think Kingdom Come is a really, 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 really great album.
I definitely want to answer that question after when it's my turn.
Which one? Which question?
Well, it's your turn now.
The 5
Oh.
favorite
Jay-Z
Jay-Z. Jay-Z's on my list. All right. I got 4 different lists. But look, right? All right. So this list is just like my favorite, basic, just musically. All right. I think it's more than 10, but not super crazy. All right. I'm just gonna go. All right. And it's not in particular order. This is just like artists, rappers that I love, like that I'll listen until I'm dead. Right. Jay-Z, Nas, Drake. Lil Wayne, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, Lupe Fiasco.
Fuck, I didn't mention Lupe. Lupe is in my honorable
Cool.
mention
And
too.
can I just-
And Food and Liquor.
Food and Liquor 1 and 2. What, bitch? What?
Best
Hold
album.
on, can we talk about the last album, Drogas Wave? That shit's hard. That's an amazing album.
I don't know.
And
I don't
Tattoo
know.
on Youth. I think all his
I
albums.
got to
are
listen to it again because it had a lot of substance.
Yes.
But sonically, it wasn't the best.
You know, I can I say this is I took all that. I'm gonna like fuck with y'all list to the no end, but my list is crap.
Nicki Minaj, really?
I'll give you Nicki too. And I want to get, because I wanted to put Kim on my list, but I didn't put Kim only because of the whole, she never, like that whole big debacle of does she write her, did she write
I know,
her?
but for me,
But it was
because
just like, if
I
I, have
can't,
to
she
put,
has to
if
be
I
on my
have to
list.
put like top 10, like top 5 icons of all time, Little Kim is definitely top
Yeah.
3.
There be no Nicki Minaj without.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
so
saying. Like
probably.
top. If I do like icons, like she is without number 3, like if not number 2 when it comes to icon, because she has been duplicated so many times,
yeah.
and she's the she's the original. There's so many carbon copies of her. I love Nicki, but
For that reason, I almost put Nicki on it, but I never really listened to
and
Nicki.
the
She
reason,
wasn't
only
like
reason
my
why
generation.
Nicki made
like-
my list, I think she probably made honorable mention because she's that much of a good fucking flow. Like
Yeah.
she is that much of a she is
Yo.
like
She's talented.
she's very talented.
She's very talented. She's animated. She keeps it interesting. Like a lot of people don't give her enough credit. Well, I mean,
Like she's a real rapper. Like she's lyrically like she's good.
She's
like,
up
But she went left with some pop shit for a minute, and that's why
But
I
it's
fell off.
okay. Like
Wait,
I'm not
who's this
mad
you
at
talking about,
that.
Nicki?
Nicki
Yeah.
Minaj.
Okay.
And I'm not mad at that because at the end of the day, like, I mean,
Lupe went left with lasers too.
yeah,
For a
Well, he
second,
had to.
like,
Lasers was
He
But
was
that's
in
what I'm saying. They all have to do that for a while. Like
have
it's
to.
about money. Sometimes you want to do that crossover.
Yeah.
got
Like
Oh, and Big Crit. I'm sorry.
Big Crit's like
Oh my
his
God!
honorable
On my
mention.
original list, Schoolboy Q was on it. Honorable
Schoolboy
mention.
Q honorable mention.
I got more though.
Like they're not
And-
top 10. Like we
and-
want
and
top
Isaiah
10,
Rashad.
top
It was
10.
definitely honorable mention.
And Buddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I have a question for you
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
people always like to say
Dig in.
Kendrick. But why don't we give Big Sean? And I feel like Big Sean,
You're right.
Kendrick
It was
is nothing
fucked
but
up.
Kendrick
You're
is nothing but a
right.
junior Big Sean, a Big Sean Junior. Like, if you
And
let
I
me
love
tell
Big
it.
Big Sean is like I decided was
But I will
my
always
favorite
put
album
Big
from Big
Sean
Sean.
Facts.
over Kendrick.
That's a great album.
It was a great
It's in my
album.
car. I have a CD.
I decided
But nobody
was
said
amazing.
him.
And you're right. And you know, it's a conversation that they have in the industry. Lil Wayne's even said it, like, why does my brother get overlooked? Is it because he's not tatted up and talking about guns? Like, what is it? Because sometimes Big Sean does get overlooked. I don't know why. Because he is an amazing artist. He's
Amazing.
consistent. He's animated. His voice is amazing.
And a lot of people, let's be very clear, because Drake has stole everybody's fucking flow. He's even took fucking Big Sean's flow. Like, let's be.
You know who we really forgot though, and someone who I tweeted this morning to try to get on the show because he was looking for a new
Wale.
podcast. Wale.
First of all, I didn't even get to my list yet because I ain't forget it. So okay, I
The
got
Gifted.
honorable mentions.
Go ahead.
Can
all
I-
out the
wait,
ass.
no,
Like,
Oh wait, go ahead.
yeah.
Someone go.
I gotta finish. So for the new school rappers, these are all the new niggas that I think are dope.
I gotta come on.
Honorable
New list.
mentions. I give.
I gotta make a new list. I already made 10 today.
Lil Baby. I like Lil Baby.
I'll give you
Sorry,
that.
I suck
I
my
like
teeth,
Lil
sorry.
Baby.
Which
He's
baby is that? The light skin one?
Bitch, I'm baby.
Nah, Lil
Wah,
Baby
wah, wah.
who did drip too hard with Gunner.
Oh, I don't like him.
I like Lil Baby.
He said, "Oh, I don't like."
I fuck with Lil Baby.
Who else you got there?
YBN Cordae.
Yes.
His last album, Lost Boy,
Yes.
wasn't. I should have put Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith is on this list.
Yes. He
I
kinda
love
fell
Jaden
off, but
Smith.
yes.
I am gonna put Logic. I am gonna put Logic. He's so quiet over there.
I like Logic too, man. But
I'm
he's
definitely gonna put Cardi B.
New school.
Aw.
I consider her new school. She only one album, 2 albums in.
An album and a mixtape.
What's
Yeah,
happening?
Album, 2 mixtapes.
She's new school in my opinion.
I mean, like she. Okay, go ahead.
Definitely Future. I'm sorry, he's a trap god. Like when it comes to trap, like
He's cultivated a culture. Like
he
he's
cultivated
yeah.
trap music. Like everybody, not everybody, but
I won't
majority.
say he cultivated it, but like he's cultivated a culture of that whole cup lean sipping, that fake pimping simping shit. Like I said what Drake was earlier. Drake is an emotional manipulative. Drake is for the emotional manipulative men, and Future is for the
non-emotional malicious.
no, because they non-emotional. I guess so, like the fake non-emotional
Feelings.
men, like the
Right,
nigga,
the
you know.
the fake non-emotional manipulative man.
I guess the original fuck boy.
Offset.
Takeoff is better than Offset.
I like Offset a lot.
I don't know. I have a personal favorite with those.
All right, I'm gonna mention these two, even though I don't know if they fall into
Go
this
ahead.
category. French Montana, because I feel like French Montana can make dope featured records. Like
He's not new though.
his feature, but I know that's why I said he's not new, but he
But
does
who
make
else you
new
got
school.
there? 'Cause
records.
you
Meek
missed
Mill, P&B Rock, and Lil Uzi.
How the fuck you forget 2121?
You're right, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
How you put Little Baby?
these are
You don't
my
put 2121.
favorites.
Yeah.
These are my favorites. Like sonically speaking, I don't like 21 Savage's voice or his flow. You know what I'm saying? I like him as a person. His personality to me is more interesting than his music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like these are based sonically. Like sonically speaking, that has a big part of me liking somebody musically. Like I have to love your sound. You know what I'm saying?
I came in with my new
So it's my
artist
turn
list.
now.
Yeah, you go. I'll come back to the R&B section
we'll
later.
come back
Yeah,
to
that's
that.
a whole nother
So
thing.
I don't know if this is in any particular order. You take it as you will. I have J. Cole,
I wonder why.
Kanye,
Yes.
Nas,
Yes.
Jay-Z, Outkast.
Yes.
I have Big,
Big who?
Biggie.
Biggie,
Oh, okay.
because he's timeless. I got Wu-Tang,
Word.
Okay.
Lupe, Lil Wayne, UGK, Slick Rick, Fabulous, DMX. And I got my honorable mentions are Beanie Siegel, LL Cool J, Clips, Nicki
Clips, I was gonna put
Minaj,
them.
Big Sean, Wale, and Cameron because it's fucking New York rap.
No one said Ghostface.
Dipset
I
was
So
almost
first
said
of all,
Ghostface. Well,
Ghostface
Wu-Tang
is
is on there,
Wu-Tang.
so-
Oh, shit, I didn't- okay,
this
I
is
missed
why-
that, my
so
bad.
that's one thing about when I had to put Wu-Tang and Outkast together because I couldn't separate them because
Yeah,
I can
couldn't do
easily
it.
say like if I want to do honorable mentions from Wu-Tang and there will be Method Man, Inspector, RZA, ODB, like Hey Dirty, baby, that's still my favorite song. And go like you have, but I'd rather just put the whole group so that way it's just like
Yeah.
I've,
so did.
I've said this before and I got flack for me. Y'all honestly don't think Andre 3000 was overrated?
No.
Because you know what it is? You're at that age when you came in with Andre 3000 with Roses Smell Like Boo Boo and shit like that. You
But
gotta
I
go
did my
back.
history, and I think Big Boy was always the standout for me. He was the rapper, like Outkast. I mean, Andre did the flows, he did the melodies. But if you listen to his bars, I mean, he has crazy flows, but
Andre
Big Boy was
a
out rapping him every
Andre was
time.
a storyteller, and that's what people like. When it comes to rap, it is can you paint a picture? Can you tell a story? And that's why I put Slick Rick down there, and that's
Because
why.
he was a beast at
And he don't
that.
really have his own body of work. I mean, you could count like the Love Below, whatever, but like, or any Outkast is his own. But until
But
he
he's
gets
worked
that,
on other albums, hasn't he? He's worked on
Yeah,
other
but
albums
it's
for
also like
artists.
he's also a good
But
feature artist too, and that's
I
why I
want
didn't.
his
That's
album.
why I didn't separate
Yeah.
Big Boy and Andre.
I tried to,
I
and it
kept
didn't
them
make
as
sense, yeah.
Outkast. It was just like because Outkast
Collectively and separately.
Yeah. It's just like you can't shit on them. You can, and I'll put
Can't shit on
another
them.
honorable mention is Ludacris and Ti.
Facts.
I almost put
Ludacris,
T.I. and
sure, yeah.
Ludacris and Redman because I just love Redman.
And
but-
okay, and Redman is my honorable mention with Wu-Tang, and I hate to group them because he's
I know, 'cause it's
EPMD,
separate, but yeah.
and it should be totally separate. But you know what, EPMD also.
the only reason I really want to have these listings is I saw the list was going around, and so Joe Budden was number 3, and I think Joe can actually really rap. Like
Joe,
I think he could too. I don't believe he's
Joe
number
is,
3.
he's not number 3 of all
He's
time,
not
no.
number
if
No,
you want
he's
to do like, well, he's not New York rap, he's New Jersey, but I will put.
He was born in Harlem, I think.
But he raps
but
Jersey.
he only,
do rap
he only
Jersey,
ever
yeah.
rapped Jersey. I never heard him rap Harlem, so I'm gonna say Jersey.
Yeah, he
And
raps Jersey.
but I would definitely put Joe in top 15. I hate that people think that Joe should even be on the list. He should definitely be on the fucking list.
Right.
Like
Fat
Joe
Joe?
had.
No, Joe Budden.
No,
Oh, Joe Budden.
and another mention is Big Pun. I personally, I feel
was
like he
nice.
should have been top 10, top 11, maybe top 15, but I didn't put him on my personal list. But I will say he's honorable mention only because I'm not that familiar with everything Pun has done. But I know people around me who will argue with me to the day I die.
He was nice.
That Pun is like one of the top 5 and undisputed, dead or alive. I don't, I can't say that. That's not my personal favorite. But I would never disrespect the legacy.
Right, exactly. I respect.
I thought Styles be in there too. Styles is like underrated. Between the locks, like everyone.
Yeah.
And I think so DMX and Rough Riders. So Rough Riders is my honorable mention. To me, Rough Riders also comes with the locks when they also did the little sign over real quick. And that's not just the whole Bad Boy campaign. Like if we want to talk about influencing a generation, Bad Boy. Like we still go around Bad Boy, can't stop, don't stop, won't stop. Take that, take that, Diddy Bop.
Yeah,
facts, major.
I have my new artist list, and we can move on. We have more.
We're gonna have a new list next week.
I have
okay?
Well, when we start doing R&B, I got the new school and old school.
My new rapper is Joey Badass, The Baby, Mick Jenkins.
You put Joey Badass on your other list though.
Well, he's new, so I'll take him out and then bring up whoever else. I don't know.
I fuck with The Baby.
I like Meg Thee Stallion a lot, but
I
don't
do.
really like her songs. But when she be freestyling, like
She's dope
over
freestyling.
classic beats, I heard her rap over a Biggie beat, and I fell in love with her. The Underachievers, Tierra Whack, and Golding.
Tierra Whack is so amazing.
Yeah, she's dope.
I like her. She's very different, very animated.
But Meg, I'm in love with her, yo.
We know.
She great.
I think everybody's in love with Meg right now. Meg is pretty dope. Meg is all about female empowerment. Like, fuck that
Definitely
shit. Like,
is.
Meg is just bomb right now.
She got a track
She's
with
teaching
Nicki
girls
coming.
how to get along.
Yeah.
You want to go on R&B? You want to start?
I
R&B?
guess I'll start R&B because my R&B list is pretty short. Like,
Go ahead.
We're doing artists, not albums, right?
yeah.
Okay.
That's a whole
So
other
I'm
list.
gonna.
That's
So
right.
my
That's a
R&B
dangerous
list.
list.
Right.
So the thing with me in R&B, I don't really know what R&B is in a sense. Like I don't know what that's classified as because I listen to doo-wop, jazz, blues, all types of shit. Like I can dead put fucking Howlin' Wolf on my list, all right? But no, I have Luther Vandross, R.
I
Kelly,
had him on my list.
Chris Brown, The Dream, Sade, Jodeci, Frank Ocean, Mariah Carey, her, Donna Jones, Trey Songz, Jay Holiday. Honorable mentions, Usher. Which is weird. And Tyrese.
That's not yo.
And
fuck with Tyrese.
Mariah
He's
Carey.
TGT. That album is amazing.
He's on one of my
Yeah, that was a
lists.
good album.
But R&B was a little difficult for me to do. I couldn't put Beyonce on the list because I don't feel like she's R&B.
I feel
Never.
like she's
I
pop.
put her on my list.
She's been pop.
She's pop.
Like she's another iconic
That's true.
influential musician to the like she will always be
I felt weird
Beyonce.
not putting her on the list
icon.
though.
Huh?
At the same time, I felt weird not putting her on the
Only
list.
because
But
it's
that's
like,
just like putting Biggie or Tupac on the list. It's like we know they're
We know.
iconic.
and that's
but
how
I
I
feel
feel
like they
about
need to
that.
be
Like,
there,
well,
though.
sometimes with the hip hop list, like, do we always have to put Biggie,
Biggie and Pac,
in
they're
pop list?
already
It's
like they're on everybody's
we
list.
know
They're on
that's a
everybody's list.
guarantee. Like
Yeah.
they're on the list. Like they're
Yeah.
always gonna get top 5 honorable mention.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
Who's
So that,
next?
but I did put Biggie on my list. But yeah,
Sorry.
R&B was a little bit hard for
It
me.
was.
Like I had a real, cause like Chris Brown, and I put him in my top 5 because at the end of the day, he sat there and let that one album take him for 10 years, just about.
But the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure
facts.
did.
Yeah.
So
Still
it was
rocking.
just like, and that shit's still rocking. You play pop and something. I'm gonna pop it.
You playing Winner? That's my shit. I used to sing that to girls in middle school.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
Like he got so many classes. On
Ain't
his
no
first
way.
album.
Don't Judge Me. Crawl.
Like,
Wall to Wall.
Run it.
Run it. Oh,
Did
that
I
Jewel's
get
verse is still one of the
run,
best
run?
verses.
Now that's what you
Yo.
should have picked for karaoke at that party you was talking about.
Shit, we going back. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, R&B.
Uh,
Yeah, probably, and Donald Jones. Like I feel like he gets slept on a lot.
Erica, Alicia Keys, Jill Scott, Floetry, Maxwell, Stevie Wonder, Prince, of course Michael Jackson, Aretha, Usher, Tank, Solange, and that's it.
See,
I have a newer list.
You said
New artists.
See, Jill Scott and all them. I've never put them on my R&B list because they're not R&B to me.
There were.
Jill?
I think she's R&B. What is she just? Isn't that
Soul?
R&B soul? Yeah.
What's the difference between R&B and
feel
soul?
like-
So and that's so. This
That's
is
the-
the
that's-
thing. And this
Neo
is, this,
soul.
Yeah. So that's so. This is how my mind has compromised when it comes to like the singers because even back in the day, it wasn't just, it was rhythm and blues, it was doo-wop, it was blues, grass blues, it was this, it was that. Like, even country is nothing but fucking R&B.
Yeah.
But we call it country. So
with a
it's
twang.
With a twang, yeah. It's R&B with an accent. It's R&B who got cows and horses and shit like that.
Yeah.
And who own a farm. That's all that is. So it's just like, I had a hard time with the R&B list because I don't know what really is considered R&B. I do consider people like Jill Scott, Aretha Franklin just soul.
Okay. I respect that.
I respect it, yeah.
Aretha was on my original list.
And Luther only made my list because he's it's Luther freaking Vandross.
Yeah.
Like, these women was out here throwing their panties at Luther. They knew he was playing in the sugar. And it was just like, it never stopped them. And R. Kelly, regardless of what's going on with his situation, you cannot deny the man hits for us. He is a songwriter. He is a hit machine.
I love Chocolate
it's
Factory.
Fucked up. That's the worst album.
I love that album.
Like, you be liking the worst shit.
I love that shit.
I was like, oh my God, in my head.
Like,
And I love that shit with
worst.
Usher. Double Up, I think it's called.
Oh, Jesus.
Same girl. Same girl.
He like all the real pedophile shit.
Oh, yeah, that is
I
creepy.
can't talk, though, because some of my favorite songs are the ones that's like, Seems Like You Ready? I don't care.
Like
That's
you
still my
ready.
shit.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
You know, I was
Going down ain't nothing but
I'm
a thing.
not gonna,
You
you know,
heard?
that was something. I was never a fan of that Aaliyah, Ain't Nothing But a Number, that one song. I hated that song. Because I've never felt like that.
By the way, we didn't even mention
I
Aaliyah.
don't agree with that either.
We didn't even mention Aaliyah.
I
on my
didn't
list.
mention Aaliyah because, again, she's another person just timeless in a sense. I feel like
She's too big for a list.
there are some people who are probably
Too
too big for a list,
I agree.
like because especially because they passed away. Like even Whitney, Whitney Houston was on. I forgot to mention Whitney Houston was on my list too, but I didn't say because again I have such a hard time.
I felt like she was
R&B,
pop. I
like
put
she
her on my
was-
list, but I was like, she's pop technically, I feel like.
and all she wanted to be was R&B. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
the
so
thing.
you-
So that's why I put her. I'm like, you go there.
Thinking about like Prince is my favorite artist of all time. He wasn't really R&B. He
was
was
rock.
like he was rock. He
Rock.
was everything.
He was
kind of.
everything. He was
He was
rock. He was
alternative,
R&B.
he
He
was
was
everything,
alternative.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
musician.
And that's the thing. There's some people out there who are just musicians, and that's why I had a hard time really putting Drake on my rapper list because it's just
He's a
like
musician.
you're a musician. I don't really see. And then, it's one of those things. Drake, you've been doing this for so long. At this point, you have to have at least 3 writers on you,
Yeah.
and it's
at
fine if you
least.
do, but it's just like. If I'm gonna give it to people who's only writing their own shit, then Drake, I'm not gonna put you on the list. But you're a great fucking musician.
But you put Kanye on the list, so that's why I'm confused.
Why wouldn't I put Kanye on the list?
Kanye has his whole last album was written by other people.
Which
The,
one?
Life of Pablo.
No, the one after
Life
that.
of Pablo was-
Yay.
That's that 3-4 song album.
Yeah.
That's,
Even he had writers on Life of
That-
Pablo as well. Like
that was the EP, baby. First of all, you
It was
just
an album.
you're just you're just a Kanye hater, and I put
I love Kanye, but he wanted to.
I put Kanye on my list because of the albums. Like he has definitely when Kanye came on, y'all niggas wasn't wearing pink shirts.
How you know?
With the exception of Camera, but Kanye made it cool to be preppy. Kanye made it cool to be a nerd. Kanye made it cool to speak proper English in a sense for people. Kanye was at the VMAs drunk like a real hood nigga. There's a lot of reasons why Kanye's on my list. And it's not just because he's a great rapper. He really is the culture.
Yeah. He was.
He is the culture. And you know what?
Trying to
I'm
say
sick,
past tense.
You know,
this one.
because you always try to come. But I'm gonna blow your mind real quick because everybody has this whole thing of this Jay-Z and Kanye, like we're gonna put them two against each other. First of all, Watch the Throne was a great album.
Yeah.
There will never be a Watch the Throne 2 because right now the people we are watching the throne, we are going to see who's going to make it to the top because the battle is between Jay-Z and Kanye in a sense. And I'm going to say this real quick. Everybody gets so upset about this whole "Make America Great Again" speech. Yes, I get that because because Trump said it and Trump is a racist. It's the same thing when Hitler took the swastika. He took a sign that was made for peace and love and he took it and made it something negative. Although in his mind he was using it for peace and love, but because what he did, his actions, what he did with it, is just a tarnished sign now. The same thing with "Make America Great." Why can't America be great, regardless of the history of America? First of all, everybody in America is a descendant of a slave. We're all not originals in a sense. The first, and it comes to black. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Black people, real quick. We all did not come from fucking Africa. That's one. Two, I mean during the slave trade. Two, The white man didn't just go to Africa and take us and say, "Hey, you niggas is coming with us." No, your African king sold your fucking asses. He got rid of his little weak crop because it was like, "Hey, I'd rather get rid of a few hundred than lose a few million thousands." So you get rid of the weak ones. You send them with the white man. They come over here. Why the hell is Jay-Z and Beyonce doing all these odes to Africa and Africa don't give a fuck about us?
Well, I think they're doing it because they're proud of their blackness. And maybe it's not dedicated solely for Africa. They're just doing that.
My girl says all the time, she Creole, she this, she that. Them people do not directly relate to the slave trade sometimes.
They don't own.
Do you think they're using it as like a marketing tool, like that
It's very
idea of
much
being proud of your
marketing.
blackness?
I just think people need to be aware about who they're following blindly. Because it's like one of the things you're gonna follow the person right into the fire, and you don't realize that you're doing so. And I say all this to say I need people to lay up a little bit on Kanye, because you may not understand, you may not agree with everything, but the best thing you can do as a black person is be a friend to a president, because he is getting shit done. People are leaving. People are walking out of jail. He is freeing people. He may not be doing it, but Kim is using him in a sense to get things done. So let's not sit here and always just be so quick to stab it back and say Kanye's this and Kanye's that. Really pay attention, open your eyes, and really see what's going on in this world.
I love Kanye. I just think there was a lack of self-awareness, and I think at the age he's at and the level status he's at, he should be more aware.
I want to chime in.
You can chime in.
Medication.
Kanye West, because I'm a huge Kanye West fan, right? And one reason why he was approaching the whole Trump situation the way he was, and you got to really understand Kanye to understand this, it was about him proving that he wasn't afraid. Because there are black people who are for Trump and they're scared to death to say that they are. Now, do I agree with it? Like, hell no. Obviously, I don't agree with Trump's politics, but I do agree that you shouldn't be afraid to have your own individual thought behind politics, because there is a group think that happens in this country when it comes to Democrats. Because you're black, you got to vote Democratic.
And then my thing is a Democrat, if you do your research, you do your history, that you about the parties, a lot of people who are Democrat would not be fucking Democrats.
Right.
And it's okay, but yeah.
And Kanye, he said he doesn't read. He doesn't. He's not like in tune with the media and stuff like that. So do you think
I'm not that into the media and shit.
Do you think like he aligned with Trump's quote unquote just to incite confidence and into other people? I don't know, to make them feel like they can just do whatever they want and you shouldn't be afraid of it. Maybe he doesn't truly even believe in Trump. He's just doing it to inspire the overall consciousness of the world to just do what you want no matter what.
I feel like I think part of his mission was that. I felt that he was trying to reflect his individuality and trying to show other people they shouldn't allow themselves to be caught up in a group think. I can't answer if he's truly for Trump or not, because I never sat down and talked with the man. I don't know. But regardless, I can see the bigger reason behind why he did what he did, why he took the MAGA hat and put it on. I can understand why he was doing those things, because
to facilitate something?
Because why, as Americans, why should we want, like, the message is getting all crossed up and fucked up, just like a Hitler message with the swastika. But as Americans, why should we want America to be great? Like, that's the thing I'm having such a hard trouble understanding. Yes, the person, like, the way they deliver the message is like based on this white supremacy thing. But this is my thing also. When have we ever fucking believed that our president really runs the fucking country? And why are we so gung-ho to believe it now?
I don't know. I think
there was a time where none of us did.
Exactly. So now why do we believe that the president actually has this control and power? When Obama was in there, everybody was there, but he didn't really have no power. He didn't really do this. He can't control nothing. It's just like, did y'all tell yourselves that to make yourselves feel better at night because there was a black man in the country? Because I've always said it. They put a black man in the country to show y'all why y'all should never vote for a black man. And I always said the next president will be all white to teach y'all a lesson. Like, this is why you don't put black people in the White House. Because they make a gimmick out of it. They make an entertainment spectacle. And this is why it should be this. And this is why we have Trump sitting here in office right now.
I think it's not really necessarily what Trump could do. It's like his rhetoric, what things he say. Like, literally, when those shootings happened last week,
the manifest... the same shit he's been saying all his life. He's been this ignorant motherfucker since.
But look what that shit has caused. Like, these two shootings back to back.
But this is what I'm trying to say. It's bigger than It's bigger than Trump. It's the people behind the scenes who got the ropes.
Who are really pulling the ropes, yeah.
Pulling the
And
ropes
this
to
is-
put
and
him
this
in
is-
power.
Thank you. And this is my thing.
They've been
I'm
trying to
say,
put
like,
him in power for
a
at
long
least 20
time.
years.
And
At
it's-
least.
and my thing is, why are we so gun-ho to believe, like, everybody want to hate this man? Yes, hate him for a lot of different reasons, but he's not really running shit. He is your puppet master, just like how we used to say Obama's the puppet master. Only difference is Obama was sitting there saying, fuck yeah, I'm dropping bombs on every fucking thing. That's the real difference right now. You had a president who said, yeah, I'm still, because he was still playing the game. He was still playing by the rules. Only difference is Obama said, I'm going to drop this bomb, that bomb, this bomb, that bomb. You know, fuck you, suck my dick. Trump is out here like, I'm going to give you some money. I'm going to give you some money because guess what? This is about to be a conglomerate. This is about to be big business over here. This is big business. So what's happening now is a shift from regular world order to the new world order that we've been hearing about since we was fucking kids. Like that's the shift that's happening in a sense.
Yeah, and this country's becoming a fascist country.
Yeah. But this is what the people behind the scenes always wanted. This is the gear. This is the toll. This is how it's gonna go.
I've always wondered that, like, when you say, like, behind the scenes, the people, do you think there's, like, a specific
the
building, a
1%.
round table, just like this, a group
Yeah,
of
it's
people
I think there's
who
about
control the
maybe
world?
10 people, maybe
Yeah.
15. If
Honestly,
even.
you truly believe that every
Yes.
fiber
In my
of your
heart,
day?
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
Who are these people then?
The
Like,
rich, the 1%,
The wealthiest people in the
Is
world.
either the wealthiest people, the aliens, whoever. But it's the nigga who got the people with
And
the
they
control.
meet every year.
And they keep it in the family. They keep it in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to sit here and really be Pacific and we want to believe every fucking conspiracy theory, remember the theory of the presidents are all related. So if that's the case, we never. Yeah, Obama was just the motherfucker white nigga with the black, the black line in a
Features.
sense. He had the 1%, the 10% blackness in him to get him through.
no, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think there's, like, a underground lab in Siberia that controls the weather. But, like, I feel like there's a group of people, I just don't know.
What?
How is that?
How is it
Trying
possible?
to grasp like, the idea of how that's even possible. Money, I guess money really talks.
Money, bro.
If money
Of
talks.
course, money is
Well,
power.
it's more than
So do you
money,
think
I
these
feel
people like Jeff Bezos are involved in that same group? Once you reach a level of
I wouldn't be
certain,
No,
surprised.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't be
say people like
surprised.
Jeff Bezos.
Because that's not new. That's old. That's new money.
So I feel
It's-
okay.
it's not
that's
old
like,
money.
or Mark
people-
Zuckerberg, I think
how do
he's
That's
you
like
say?
new money. That's new
He
money.
looks like a
that's
robot.
New money. Like
They
the-
may just be
they're
puppets
like,
as well.
Yeah, that's just
they're
new
the people
money.
who got money. So it's like, I guess, American Horror Story Apocalypse. The people who can pay their way to freedom. When the world is about to be over and they about to unleash the bombs and shit, you got people like Mark Zuckerberg and them who can pay their way because they're not for nothing. Mark Zuckerberg and them niggas. They are the they are the mind. When the world is all said and done, I'm pretty sure even the 1% need niggas to fucking recreate the world all over again. So you
Exactly.
need people like Mark Zuckerberg. You need people like Jeff Bezos, the
Like Bill
innovators. You need
Gates.
the innovators.
Yeah.
You need these people.
Do you think I want to like take away from the experiences that these people, these families have had, like the loss of their family members, stuff like that? But do you think like any of these attacks are calculated and paid for it to be brought about by these people you're referring of?
I can't speak on that because it's just like, again, that's a real sensitive issue. A lot of people have lost families. I haven't been listening to the news. I know there have been 2 attacks, 2 mass shootings. I don't know any details.
There was, I think, 3 more. Since
There was like
then.
a stabbing in
Smaller
Orange
ones,
County or
smaller
something
ones,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so
not mass shooting,
I
but-
don't know but I do feel like chaos incites chaos. So once one, it's like a domino effect. Once one, then it just. That's been the theme for us, America, for the past 3-4 years. Just mass shootings every year. It's like 3 mass shootings a year. Just about 4 mass shootings a year. It's always something going on
Every
now.
year.
And I
There's been
believe in
22.
like
that was the 21st and 22nd.
It's literally
shooting of
happening
this
every
year
year.
alone.
At this point.
Since Sandy Hook, right?
Since Columbine,
since Columbine.
I think.
I feel like we had a little break, and then Sandy Hook came, and then it's just been an encore. Sandy Hook, then it was
Maybe,
in
maybe
Florida,
since
then it
then,
was in
then.
Vegas. It was just like
I do believe in
nonstop.
like people like being crisis actors too, like being like the ones who want to go on the TV and have the interviews after something major like this happens.
They
I feel
said
like
that's what Sandy Hook was all about. They said Sandy Hook was all crisis actors and
this
stuff
is a
like
touchy
that.
subject. I don't know who's listening.
Yeah,
but
so it's just like those one of those things. Like we can debate conspiracy theories all
Yeah.
day, but let's just wave the.
let's go back to.
I was about to say.
safe
How do we get from
topic.
R&B list to
Yes.
Oh,
I want Coco's
Kanye.
arm.
Yeah,
We
So
went
about
far
Kanye.
off.
Yeah, we went far off.
Kanye.
That's what it was. It started
Kanye, come on the
Kanye.
platform and speak for yourself. We were speaking for you. Come on the platform, sir. By the way, he been wearing the same outfit but with different colors the entire year.
Why not?
swear to God.
Have you seen his closet?
Why not?
I don't know. Have I? I don't think. Is there like a picture online?
Maybe you can find one, but it's funny you say that because that's really how his closet's set up. Like he's got everything color coded, and organized by color, and it's like very similar pieces of clothing just in different colors.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
it's funny.
Psychopath.
But I want to hear Coco's R&B
I love him.
list.
Don't.
Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
No particular order. Monica, Whitney Houston, Sade, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Lauryn Hill, Aaliyah, Maya, Ashanti, Erykah Badu, and Jill Scott. And yes, that's more than 10. Thank you.
I think she has like the consistent list, like the.
I redid this
Yeah.
list today alone, each one like 10 times. I was just like, damn it.
Man, my R&B list is sucky.
Brandy's actually coming back into the limelight finally. I feel like after like that whole accident thing, she like went back. Remember she
But
like
had
killed
a
somebody.
Good album, yeah, she did.
Who killed somebody?
Brandy, she
Brandy.
hit somebody and killed somebody.
Car
Or
accident.
car accident, yeah, and they died.
Mm-hmm.
It was years ago, yeah.
Wow.
I feel like that's when she really, because people were judging her on some, like it was an accident, you know what I mean? And she was great. She's
judging her
beautiful.
since she lied about being married.
I was just about to say, I was trying to get it out. Yes.
That's when people started judging.
It was like,
Brandy.
When
why?
she lied about being
Just
married?
Why?
She lied about being married. It was just like,
When she
why?
had a baby. Like,
Just-
why? You didn't even have to say anything at all.
You have to say you ain't always no explanation. You should have just had your baby.
And don't people say like Alicia Keys stole Swiss from another woman or something like that?
He
Why
was
people
with
judge?
Mashonda.
They're friends now, so don't worry
Oh,
about it.
They ain't friends.
Don't hate on
Mashonda a
Alicia.
smart bitch.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Hit it.
I have an old school list and a new school, so I'm gonna start with old
Hit
school.
it.
All right, no particular order, and this is based on what I consider R&B. And okay, Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Tyrese, Keisha Cole, Lloyd.
Fuck.
Yes.
Forgot about Lloyd. He dropped a great album last
True.
year too.
True was a good
Yeah,
album.
damn.
That shit
First
touched
of all,
my
Lloyd's
soul.
first album is still my favorite. I play that shit like nobody's business. Go
Yeah.
to sleep. What?
That short nigga can sing.
I'm not done. Omarion.
Oh,
I'm
Touch.
sorry.
I want
know.
touch.
I love,
I want touch played at my funeral. That's how much I love that song.
Oh, God.
I love.
He could not make my list. I was just like, because I see him on somebody else's. I'm like, oh, Marion? Like, not even in my top 50 he could make.
I love Omarion.
Marcus Houston, honorable mention.
Immature.
I do-
That's what I was
do
about to
love
say. What was
Marcus
that group
Houston.
name?
Immature.
Raheem Devon.
Mm.
That
Yes.
nigga's nice. I know you want to give me a high
yeah,
five.
I
Go
do,
ahead.
I do.
That
This-
nigga's
yeah,
nice.
that
I've seen him
first-
perform
That
in
first
real
album
life.
alone, The Love Experience, is all I need. Like,
I didn't put too much time to this. Like, fuck.
That nigga's nice.
I want to do
bro.
this next week. Like,
you know, if I can go based off just one
Challenge.
albums, it'd be like, who had like Tweet. I feel like her one album was like the best album. That
She was popping for a while. Robin Thicke. I like Robin Thicke. And Sade.
I like
You
Robin.
gotta
I don't
just
know if I
buy
like
it. It's
Robin.
okay.
I don't know if I like
The
Robin.
The evolution of Robin
No,
Thicke is my
yeah.
favorite album. Like that.
You
It's
about
just,
to make me go home and like really play some songs. Like, okay,
Listen
I
to that
remember this
album.
shit.
He has cool hair.
It was very good.
Good
All
hair.
right, you ready for the new school list?
Yes.
Okay.
I have
Justin
one- I have
Bieber
one
better
too.
be on that shit.
He's great, but he's not on this. I think he is great. I love Justin Bieber, but I can't.
He's not R&B though.
Yeah, he's he's pop. All right, Ty Dolla $ign. I love Ty Dolla $ign. I'm sorry, like I listen to like every song he's ever put out. Like his voice, the raspiness, like, and plus like I'm a very sexual person, so like his music just matches like who I am.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his music. It's very good. Jeremiah, he's very talented.
Underrated.
He's underrated. He writes all his own music too.
Is that a bug?
He writes all his own music. I've met people who've worked with him before. Definitely Breezy, Chris Brown. I just love his personality as far as his creativity and his like. I just like his music. I don't think he writes all his own stuff, but I don't care because his voice is so fucking amazing. As soon
I feel
as
like R&B is one of those things that they don't have to write them all.
they don't, because the voice itself is just like
Yeah,
We gotta have a real honest conversation about someone writing music for you. Like, I feel like it takes real talent for you
conditional.
to read someone else's words.
Yeah.
So I feel like it doesn't matter what's actually written, who writes
because
it.
you still got to be talented enough
Yeah.
to make it a hit.
Yeah, I feel
Right.
like that's like discrediting their talent.
Right.
That's why-
Oh my bad.
That's
Trey Songz, Jen Aiko, Aaron Ray.
Wait, who?
Jenny Aiko.
Oh, Janae. Yeah.
Janae Aiko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Ray. Ari Lennox. SZA. Kaylani. Party Next Door. Her and The Weeknd.
Very good.
I'll give you The Weeknd.
He's not R&B anymore.
What is he then?
Starboy was
Pop?
kind of pop. It was kind
See,
of
when I
pop.
think about The Weeknd, I'm only thinking about those first like 4 mixtapes.
Right.
Thursday and all that shit. Like that's what I'm thinking about.
I get it.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Kyle Dion, Lucky Day, Bryson Tiller, Her, Mariba, Miguel, Janelle Monáe, Ari Lennox, The Weeknd, SZA, Party, Division, and that's it.
Division is good.
What
He
kind
is
of
good.
R&B list are these? That's very like new school.
You're not up on some of these people. Kyle
You know,
Dion is.
'cause when I think about R&B, it's just I'm a little older than y'all, so it just means
This is
different
new,
things
yeah.
to me. Yeah.
Kyle Dion dropped the best R&B
See,
album this year
like
so far.
Bryson Tiller and them, I couldn't. They trap soul.
Trap Soul,
Yeah,
Trap
so it's
soul.
just like
so
I
easy
do
to
love
do.
them
My trap
dearly.
Newfangled term.
Exchange or Don't. Oh. Bryson coming with a new album
Bryson
too.
is dope. I love Bryson Tiller.
I like when he
But
raps
it was
too.
something you said, CR. Who did you put on your list? 'Cause I
For
wanted
which
to-
one? R&B?
Yeah.
Old school or new school?
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. The Dream. That's why I put The Dream on my list because it's just like.
He is very good. And he's had a lot to do with different
But
hits.
yeah, it's like he has
wrote a lot.
He wrote a lot of different hits,
Wrote
and
a
it's
lot
just
of
like I think I was
hits.
just using him for like writing credits in a sense, but
Yeah.
his stuff on his own is good.
Yeah.
Nobody said Frank Ocean. I thought that was crazy because that's
That is
like,
crazy.
You know, it's Frank. Like he gave you the Lonnie DeVoe project. That was like 45 songs of just straight hits of him writing and.
People sleep on
I
Blonde
didn't
too.
dive in enough into his music to know. You know what I'm saying? I only know his radio hits and his features. Like, I don't know enough Frank Ocean to be like.
After this is
man.
over, go look up
I
this
think
song.
we all said Sade, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sade is just.
Hang on to your
life.
love is my favorite
Timeless.
Sade song. But go look up this song by Frank Ocean called White. That's my favorite Frank Ocean song. Super
White.
short, super beautiful.
Sweetest Taboo is my favorite Sade. Favorite Sade song.
Probably, I don't know, Jezebel, Is It a Crime? No Ordinary Love.
What's that other song called?
No Ordinary Love. Oh my God, that song is so good.
I can't remember her name. But
There's
continue.
nobody like
The sweetest
Sade.
Really
Yeah.
isn't. Yeah.
There's nobody.
She comes out with an
like
album,
her.
I think,
And
every
the
10
funny
years,
thing
something
about
like that.
when we
So
say
it's-
Sade is just like it's a whole fucking group and not just one
Right.
person.
One person, yeah.
Like a Tattoo. That's my favorite Sade song.
Like
also.
a tattoo.
Yeah, I love
That
that
is a
shit.
very good song.
Love is Stronger Than Pride.
Oh my God.
Mm.
I wish I could meet her. Just have a conversation.
Where she live?
I don't know.
Europe, I think.
Yeah, nobody said Donald Jones.
No.
Nobody
like-
said Frank Sinatra. Isn't Frank Sinatra R&B? Kind
No.
of. He was R&B before R&B.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I felt good about everybody's list though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody's list.
I feel like everybody
I, don't,
here is.
I didn't understand like maybe CR's and Jeff's rap list. It's like a lot of new rappers on there in a sense.
Yeah.
Like.
I understand
And
why.
I want,
get
because I
it.
feel like people like Joey Badass, and then I'm not gonna exclude them, but it's just like y'all don't make the list just yet. Y'all get honorable mention.
Right, because it's like y'all still got time.
Y'all
to
still
put
got
in.
shit to
It's
do.
just
Him and-
different. It's just like
Joey and Flapper Zombies are playing in my house. I think next week maybe we should go see
Oh,
them.
for real?
I'm
yeah,
going.
I'll find out.
Probably
how
got
much
paid to
it
get
is.
in already. It's probably sold
Yeah,
out.
I was like, what the fuck? You gotta pay? It's like,
I just been following Joey since 2012, and I remember I seen him perform for the first time. It was just like back then, like 2012, 2013. It was just like I never seen anything like that. 17 years old, like it
I love
was
Joey Badass. Like,
Brooklyn, like I mean, it's crazy.
you know, if I'm gonna do the honorable mention for rap, is gonna be fucking the ASAP Crew, Cozy Tapes Volume 2. That shit is awesome. Like,
Yeah, and Rocky's free. He ain't going back to
Fuck
Sweden
A$AP.
ever.
I feel like I can't ever say fuck ASAP Rocky, but it's just like, you know, lesson learned, nigga. I bet you won't be talking all that shit now.
He probably still will on some reckless young nigga shit. Actually, he ain't
No,
young.
yeah, because
He like
did
30.
you see like it was a picture of him like after he got out of jail, like
With the
music-
white women?
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like damn rock.
What'd he
Okay.
do?
He was just
he
partying
meet
in
up
the
with
car
Kendall
with
Jenner or
some white
something
chicks.
like that. Or he met up with Kendall Jenner. And he
I
went
heard
to-
he was the only one who successfully fucked all 5 sisters. All sisters. He
the
fucked,
only one.
Kardashian?
I doubt that.
like the only one like successfully fucked all of them.
There's
Like
got to be one more out there.
Drake.
At least.
Drake.
Ooh.
I can see Drake doing it.
I can see Drake doing it. I can see Drake taking down all
Hell
5 of
yeah.
them
Yeah.
bitches like
Hell
Courtney,
yeah. And the
Chloe,
moms.
and the mom.
Absolutely.
I can see ASAP doing it too though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he got that Harlem little swag, like, yes, we- yeah, baby. That'd be kind of dope, though.
Guess we done with the list. We run out of time too, I think.
We are.
I don't know how much time. I actually want to introduce a new segment that I didn't tell y'all about that I kind of came up at last minute.
New?
Where I don't have a name for it, working title, but I basically each week one of us will highlight a creative that's a person of color, or an inventor, like either from the past, present, or
Rest in peace, Toni Morrison.
Word
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, shit. Damn, we should have started with that.
I thought we were gonna get into it, but we got into a whole bunch of other stuff.
What was y'all relationship with Toni Morrison? Did y'all follow her? Or
I love everything
Especially when I
about
was
Toni
younger, yeah.
Morrison. Like, yeah, she's like another person, another author who's inspired me to write. Like, I read books from Toni Morrison and literally woke up the next day sick because the book affected me all the way. Like, she's that great of a writer.
Yeah, I was introduced to her in high school, and
Yeah, The Bluest Eye, I think, was my first book I ever read from Toni Morrison.
she was like 88 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I didn't realize she
That's
was
a nice
she was-
number,
yeah,
88.
Yeah.
She was really up there.
My grandma's turning 90 this year.
Oh, wow.
Dope, congrats.
Shout out to Grandma CR.
Yeah. You just had a birthday.
More
Shit.
life.
Oh,
Shout
word.
out.
My
Hey,
birthday
it
was on
this
Monday.
week,
How was your
yeah.
birthday?
I forgot. It was great. I went to get my hands and nails done for the first time in my life. I never
Let me
did
see.
that.
Look.
I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I can't show you now.
Fucked
Your-
it up.
Was your
My
feet
nails
like?
all dirty and
So
stuff.
she's such a woman. Let me see how you
they're
look.
not- yeah, it's nothing now. I mean, I'm a guy. I've just been fucking around.
When you pulled your socks off, how did the ladies react?
I don't have ugly feet except for this one bad toe. And, but look,
That's why you keep hitting that neck, right?
well, no, I dropped a
Is it the
dumbbell on
pinky
it.
toe? Oh.
It's not. It's my big toe. My big toe on my right foot. Yes, I am sad.
Y'all saying all to that nasty toe? Fuck out of here.
Nah, man. Before that, man, I'm talking about, man, beautiful feet, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my aunties used to make fun of me, but I was proud. They was like, "You got girl feet." I was like, "Well, thank you." Shit was soft, but But yeah, so that went down. Wifey came and we spent the weekend. It was just me and her the whole weekend. Yes, lots of sex.
Why you gotta toss it in all the time? Privacy, bruh.
Don't hate.
I know. I ain't getting no pussy. No, but like, I feel like if I was in a
It was
relationship, I feel
great.
like my girl would tell me to stop talking about that shit.
She
But your
does
girl-
tell me to stop, but I do it anyway because it's funny. We laugh about it.
Okay.
Like I was having a whole conversation about our sexual weekend with one of my DJs, and I showed my girlfriend the conversation. She was laughing.
Oh,
I respect that. That's y'all relationship. That's what y'all do.
She
I'm just the only one getting yelled at about shit. I can't tell you what. What else did y'all do?
We watched a lot of movies. We watched TV. We saw Crawl in the theaters. Yeah, Crawl. And I watched The Sopranos. I know I'm super fucking late. Like
So that's the shit.
I'm watching
What
Sopranos.
season you on?
I'm on season 2, episode 4 right now.
Sopranos.
And I didn't realize how much was taking place in places that I now grew up
Yeah.
in and drove around. I'm like, damn, like Montclair, Newark, Elizabeth, Jersey City. I'm like, damn, like these are buildings that I used to see all the time. I didn't know this shit was on The Sopranos. Like, you know, I thought I really thought it took place in New York. That's why, you know, I was just like, wow, fuck that. Yeah, Jersey, Garden State.
It's gonna be one of those shows that you watch at the end. You're gonna be like, yo, for real.
People, I've heard that. I've heard people say that the way
But
it
I
ended
got
was
it though.
well.
I got it. You get it. You get it. When
I
it's
got a
all said
long
and
way.
done,
Yeah, don't say nothing. Don't spoil it
Yeah.
for me. But it's 6 seasons, and I didn't know it was that goddamn long. So I'll be watching this for a while.
You know
Yeah.
what I started watching this week? What's that shit? Mad About You. Anybody heard about that?
Oh
shit?
yeah,
It's
Mad
like a
About
little-
You.
What's that?
Yeah, that was a good show.
It's an old
It was a
show,
very good show.
but it's very good. Like
Like you wouldn't think, like for us, I would think we wouldn't think it's funny, but it's fucking
Is it like a
funny.
sitcom?
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's a
sitcom.
sitcom.
It's about this married couple. So you know back then it wasn't the whole sensitive area where today you couldn't do a lot of shit on TV. So
Yeah.
back then the stuff that they would talk about, the relationship issues, it was just like I was watching, just binge watching it. I'm just like, oh my god, this shit. It still holds true to today if you're in a relationship and you're living with somebody. So just to all the listeners out there, if you have Mad About You, just binge watch it. You're gonna laugh a little bit. Trust me. It's like a real eye opener to relationships. Like the shit, I was just like, in my single self.
This whole conversation about like the conspiracy theory shit makes me want to rewatch this show called Mr. Robot. They're coming up with their last season this year, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
that's right.
and like the beginning of the first episode, there was like a big room full of people in suits, and they're like kind of controlling what's going on. So like, maybe it inspired me to rewatch that. I didn't like The Sopranos, honestly. Like, it just wasn't for me. Like, I like The Wire better. Like, people compare those two. I feel
Never
great shows
compare
of
The
all time.
Wire and The Soprano. Two different
Well,
shows.
no, in terms of like the great
Yeah.
shows of all time, Sopranos is up
Okay.
there.
I definitely want to go
The
back and watch
Sopranos
The
is
Wire.
definitely up there. The Wire is top 5. Sopranos top 5 too. Like the greatest like series of all times. Like
I love
Breaking
mafia.
Bad.
I love mafia stuff.
See, I've never
like-
seen Breaking Bad, so that
Missing out.
wouldn't be. I feel like
wasn't
my
big
top
on it.
5 would be Sex and the City, Sopranos, The Wire, and 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under was so good.
And there was another show on HBO, Real Sex. Let's be real.
Oh yes. Oh
show.
yes. That
That's
show
top
was.
5 series. Like,
Come
I
on.
would
late.
always watch the repeats because you could
Honorable
still get
mention,
information
Murder
from
House There.
it. You're like, oh, that's great.
It used to
Really?
come on like at 11 at night, right? Like,
Yeah,
what-
like 11, 11:30. I'd be like, yes, finally. Like, oh, she was so good.
Yo,
Even
Real
Married
Sex
with
was
Children is
popping.
still one of
Yeah.
those. Yeah, Married with. There's so many shows. Like, what's your favorite sitcom? Let's do black sitcoms, maybe. that many.
Shit.
I have
Favorite.
a few.
Oh, favorite. Damn.
I have a few.
Someone else go.
All right, My Wife and Kids.
Mm.
I was about to say a different
I
world.
love that.
Different
All of
Worlds.
Us. The Hughley Show, and I would say House of Pain.
Okay, that was a cute show. That was cute.
In the House with LL Cool J.
Oh, In the House.
Who remembers In the
Yo.
House?
Oh, yeah.
That
That's good.
show was
That
funny.
was really good.
I really
He was
enjoyed
funny.
the Jeffersons. And-
Jefferson's show, yeah.
Oh.
That's like an iconic.
Yeah,
It's like on that iconic list.
I can see that being top 5 though. Like, if
For sure. Jamie Foxx show doesn't get enough credit.
I love the
I would
Jamie
always
Foxx
watch
show.
that one.
Oh.
Jimmy
who
Fox
was
show.
That
just
show
talking
made me
about-
love him.
Me and you was talking about the Jamie Foxx show. Yes,
Martin.
Martin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Martin, Living Single.
Living Single.
Yeah.
227.
Oh, I love that show.
Single.
227.
We need to just app with all these shits. You can't find these shits nowhere.
That's
like,
what I'm
Get a
saying. You
stick.
gotta-
Get a
you gotta-
fire stick.
Fire stick.
Yeah.
Broken fire stick.
Can't you
buy
find
them
like
on
if you look
DVD.
online? Yeah,
I
can't
think
you buy
they
the
have
DVDs?
Rokus like that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, but who wants to do all that shit?
I think
I collect
I think I'm
DVDs.
gonna collect them. I think I'm gonna go back and like get
And
all my
Live in
favorite
Color.
shows.
Yeah,
Live in
facts.
color.
That was a good.
All
show.
the seasons.
I
Like,
still remember
people
the
hated it
theme
after
song.
a while. But it got better when J-Lo became on the Fly Girls. Let's be real here.
Then he was really dancing.
It was really
Choreographing and shit.
So, like I said, I don't have a name for this segment, but I just want to highlight creatives, inventors who are of color from past, present, and I guess can't do the future because we are the future, I guess. But one person I want to do is he's an inventor. He invented the yellow light. William Potts, Detroit policeman in 1920. And the way he did it was he like hacked I think he's probably like the first hacker. He like messed with like some railroad equipment and he brought it back to his crib or some shit like that when he was off and he invented the yellow light in Detroit in 1920.
So he just
William
added it.
Potts.
Huh?
William Potts. Go ahead. Shout out to William Potts out here.
So I honestly, the whole purpose of it is I just feel like we don't get our credit through our history anyways. So I feel like I want it to be our responsibility to do it. And we can shout out current businesses, current black-owned businesses, shed some light on those. Because if you Google black-owned businesses, it'll bring up some white shit. Or just some shit like it's not related at all. So it's really hard to get any type of notoriety for anything we've done. So I want to do that more. And
Okay, I think I got one.
yeah, we'll just do one of us to do one each week, and we'll go from there. And hopefully remember.
I'm gonna do rest in peace Toni Morrison, but my person today I will use Zora Neale Hurston and I used her because I wanted to talk about John the Conqueror, but I couldn't talk about John the Conqueror without talking about Zora Neale Hurston, and I'll just put those two names out there. Y'all do your own research, but Zora Neale Hurston, she's a great African American author, and she actually like specialized in African American folklore. Hoodoo, voodoo, stuff like that. And John the Conqueror is like really known in the hoodoo world. So, and I guess that would be my not don't sleep, but black people in creativity invention moment. Yeah.
Have you ever owned a voodoo doll? I feel like you have.
What happened?
Have you ever owned like a voodoo doll? Or something?
No.
Why would you feel she has?
I don't know. I just
You worry she has one about you. That's why.
He is. He's worried that I got something on
That's
him,
exactly
but I don't got
why.
nothing on you, baby. That's just you, boo. Okay.
Coco. If you could think of someone off top, if can't, you could just do your don't
I
sleep.
wish we would have been prepared
Yeah,
prior
I-
to,
but, But I was like I
Yeah.
said, one of us is doing one, so that's why I wanted to do mine as an introductory to it, and we go from next week. But if you have a don't sleep, you could toss it in there.
I usually do have a don't sleep, but I don't have one today.
That's all good.
The pressure's circling over here. Isn't it?
It's already on you. It's on
I
you.
tried to Google. God damn it. Don't sleep. Don't sleep.
I usually think of
Don't
it
sleep
on
on
the
Love
fly
Beats
too.
and Beats out now on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud.
Word.
It's a great album.
And I got the thank you so much. You
It
guys
is.
are
Especially
really
in the
good.
mornings, like it gets me going.
Orange Leaf is still my favorite song by y'all. I play that shit in the gym.
For real.
Deadass. It's in the
Damn.
Go
playlist.
see ya. Go see ya.
Thank you
Go
guys.
see ya. Go
I
see
just
ya.
made a new link tree. It's in my bio. Click my link. Follow me on Instagram at
Yeah.
CR_908. The album is amazing. And I'm really, really trying to come up with some funding so I can start creating visuals for the fucking album. Like, I need some dope music. Like, I'm going to do music videos totally different than, you know, the standard ass shaking, ice in the club. Like, I'm
We
going
can
to
have some of that too, though.
Of
No.
course, of course, of course. I'm gonna have that for our new song coming out, Cinderella.
Gotta
That
get your
shit.
Tina from Bosberg.
All black women, though.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All black women.
Different shades.
Yes, because black women come in all different shades. You know, I feel like it needs to be a celebration of black people in all of our shades. It's not, you know, just. And I don't want to talk because I'm light skinned in other cases, but it's more to being black than just being brown or light or darkness. It's just like we come in collective shades,
Yes.
like all types of hues of blue. So just love us for who we are, not for what you want us to be.
Word.
And that's that. If you enjoyed this podcast, wherever you're tuning in, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, whatever I think called Castbox is another medium for podcasts, Google Play. Please utilize the rating system because it definitely is. It makes me really happy. We got even more reviews over the weekend,
Good job.
and
Thanks,
we got
guys.
one star. And I think that was some hating ass nigga. I don't know who it is. I don't
alright,
know who
he's
you are,
entitled to
but
his
I'm gonna find you.
opinion.
No, you're fucking
No.
wrong.
He's entitled
You
to his
did-
He's
opinion.
entitled
It's
to
You're
your
fine.
fucking
opinion. If you
wrong.
don't like something, you ain't like
One
it. It's all right,
star.
boo.
One fucking
I'm
star.
gonna turn
You,
that one
whoever
star
did
into
that.
We
4.
dope though.
Follow us on Instagram at Introverted Intuition Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Introverted Intuition. We have merchandise. It's in the link. It's going to be the link of this episode, and it's the link of our Instagram page. We're going to do a little photo shoot for that soon.
I can't.
Sooner than I was thinking.
I can't wait.
I'm going to get the merch for us next Thursday, and then it'll be here the following week. And press play, September 28th. That's more details coming soon, but that's like the solidified date. We're going to have some special guests that we've had on the show up possibly, and you know, some other surprises. And yeah, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. This has been episode 100 to 100 more.
Yeah,
So
And,
guys,
100 more.
Yeah,
and
we love you.
beyond.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Deuces.